And the standings list there in front of you, we see the top 15 players registered. Include none other than Grandmaster Fabiano Caruana, who is streaming this event live from his own Twitch channel. As I give this endorsement right now to stop watching me and go to twitch.tv/GM Fabiano Caruana. There you go. You can't say that. You can't say I didn't warn you to go watch another person's stream. We also had Anish Giri there, right? We got Anish Giri. We've got, of course, a bunch of the regular names: Naroditsky, Grigorians, Andreasyan, Dmitry Draken right there at the top. But okay, exciting to see Giri playing, right? Of course, we're missing two of the most regular of all the Title Tuesday Super GM Elite, right? Hikaru and MVL. Neither one of them here, at least not at the moment. We still have a few more minutes before they are officially locked out of the event. So, but okay, pretty exciting stuff. The event will be starting in the next just a couple of minutes. So if you're here to get excited, shout out to Liam Shez, Grandmaster to be, brother Josh, hanging out with us over at the Chess.com TV chat. At Twitch, we've got the regulars. We've got, of course, the one, the only, Chess Bay herself. We've got, I think that says Pat Ochet the boss. I don't know. So there you go. I'm not exactly sure what that name is. But thanks to everybody who's here. Steve S5 has been here hanging out at the Twitch TV chat for a while. I've seen you. Hey, Chess Bay. Hey, Dr. Shackleton. This is our chance. We have 2 more minutes where we just get to bond, and there's no chess games. It's just me, you in the chat, and all 254 other people in the chat. Me and you and all the other people that are also here, unless you are you, and then in case, obviously we don't care about them. What's up, BCD84? Yeah, this is going to be fun today. We've got a huge Title Tuesday coming up. 266 players currently registered, as we can see right there at the top. We've got, as I said, you can see a who's who list there. Some top players. I'm upset that I'm not going to be able to just watch Grandmaster Fabiano Caruana's stream, if I'm being totally honest. The fact that I'm here and hosting the official coverage on our chess channel means I'm not going to get a chance to watch Fabiano's stream. But obviously, I highly recommend that all of you do. Not even sure if Fabiano is live yet. I'm going to go ahead and see if he is. See if he's live, because I have a couple more minutes just to check on it. See if he's getting things going. Obviously, we're pretty excited for that to be the case. Doesn't look like he's live just yet. I'm following his channel, so that should mean I get a bit of an alert when he goes live. So there you go. All right, 1 minute and counting. Hopefully Fabiano can get his stream figured out. If not, then I guess you're stuck with me. And we're going to have the coverage of the strongest consistent online chess tournament that exists in the universe, at least in our universe. I'm not sure what's going on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I hear a lot of people are dying. That's weird. I don't want to get into that. It makes me sad. John Bartholomew also live. I'm sure that Chess Bay will be keeping everybody posted on all your options in regards to who you can watch and follow. A lot of the first-person accounts are going to be at these particular streamers' private Twitch channels, right? I'm sure you can see John focusing on his games and providing commentary. This is the official coverage here where we're going to follow the standings, get you excited, and make sure you're aware of all the results as they come down, and keep you posted. So on that note, the games have begun. We have Grandmaster Fabiano Caruana taking on Draga Klism. We've got Zavine Andreasyan playing here. I had this show set up, already getting set to follow a whole bunch of the top players, and it's funny that a lot of them seem to have started out with black. But here we have Pavel Elyanov, one of my favorite players, actually, at the top level. Elyanov playing in not his first Title Tuesday. Elyanov is not necessarily a regular customer, though. So, thank you, Be Kindy. Yeah, the Chess.com Pentium 2 servers, I think they're actually They're like AD servers from '96. So the show is on the road, and we are rocking. We'll keep it locked wherever you guys want. I'm gonna try to follow the chat as close as I can, and you can call me a weirdo anytime, Manmuth 1990. That's not a personal attack. It's just a fact. So hashtag you get it. All right. Well, I think that Caruana's stream obviously is going to be a focus for many as soon as he gets it going. We see that we also have Grandmaster John Bartholomew. We've also got the Ginger GM. Simon Williams himself is also streaming while playing. So a lot of people throwing their hat in the chess streaming ring, but Fabiano is currently playing this game, multitasking while also getting his stream living. Now, welcome to my world, right? Not so easy all the time, is it? To technically troubleshoot while you play and follow chess games. Just kidding. But okay, so let's see. We've got this game here. This is the beginning of the tournament, so we get to kind of pick and choose. So many places to go. Obviously, we should probably be following Anish Giri's game, so I'll pull up that one. He's got the white pieces against Josie Wells. Let's give Giri some love, right? Not every day that we see Anish throwing it down in Title Tuesday. Josie Wales, the young Josie Wales, American, is playing the black pieces. Pretty equal structure. Anish can trade on d8. The d6 pawn is kind of weak, but I don't think the black is really any worse here. Not that much worse. Here he probably has to take and then play b3 to defend the b pawn. And the issue is I think black can strike with d5 pretty quickly. So Giri's playing the moves that I recommend, which we know is never a good sign for any chess player. So we'll see. And Wales is indeed following suit. I think I've just predicted the last 6 moves in a row for our players. So again, that means that some bad chess is on the board. He takes. Now, the one positional advantage that Giri will have is potentially this 2-on-1 majority over here on the queen side, especially if he can make sure that this d-pawn doesn't go anywhere. But full disclosure, it's hard to believe that white has really gotten very much at all out of this opening. Okay, 95 drops the fork on c6 as long as Josie Wales sees that. Probably a couple ways to deal with it. I think rook b6 makes the most sense because you don't really want to put the bishop on b7 and block the rook. I'd play rook to b6, and then try to bring the bishop out to b7 or a6 after that. Ooh, wow. Knight d4, defending aggressively. He's not interested in playing the logical developing move. I'm not sure that this trade favors Mr. Wales, though, because well, let's bring it over to the bat cave and maybe do a little bit of analysis here for you, shall we? We'll let the main game continue to speak for itself and bring up the analysis board so I can show you what I mean. Okay, he declines the trade, which I think is right. Now plays rook b6 as we were suggesting, but okay, the more this goes on, the more I feel like black is really just losing time. Okay, even g3 there. Knight d4 is good. You blockade the d-pawn, which, of course, as long as it's on the same color as the bishop, then it's a positional advantage. Shout out to Liam Shez, who just subscribed with Twitch Prime at the Twitch TV/chess channel. Thank you for that subscription, Liam Shez. Okay, nice move, but does it allow f6? f6 would kick the knight from e5 and allow knight d3. Looks like it doesn't have enough time. Or sorry, Josie Wales doesn't have enough time because this knight will come to c6 with tempo. But this feels like it's heading the direction of a slow grind right now for Giri. I don't really like the plan that Wales went for with this knight basically going on a journey to a square that really is no better than where it started on e6, where frankly it was better because it kept Giri's knight out of d4, right? You don't want pieces to blockade your positional weaknesses. It makes them sitting ducks, right? Usually the best positional weakness is one that's sort of free to roam and it's so reckless that they have to deal with it, and you can create other forms of counterplay. So this is an isolated queen pawn that has been sufficiently handled, right? Yeah, now g3, this knight no longer has the d3 square. King to g2 is going to be played here pretty quickly by Giri. And already I think f3 makes sense. Just take away the e4 square and threaten the move h4. Yeah, Giri playing f3. I really like that move by the Dutchman. I think Josie Wales has gotten himself in trouble. So if we back up, in this analysis Um, if we back up in the analysis board here, just the analysis, you can see them in live position. Don't worry. I think that things really start to go off the rails for Wales. They went off the rails for Wales. First awkward punt of the day. Yes. Anyway, the point is that this whole idea with knight to d4 seems unnecessary. The knight was ideally placed when it held on to the square in front of the pawn and actually always kept the threat of advancing this pawn. I was suggesting play a move like rook b6, develop aggressively, and try to use the d-pawn where it's suited now. What Wales ended up doing was several moves with the knight that really did nothing to improve not only the knight's position, but actually the position overall. And as we can see, Giri is sort of putting on the pressure now with this infiltration into the 7th rank. That knight on h4, that knight on g5 is still almost trapped. And after bishop h3 check, isn't king h2 just winning a piece here, or what am I missing? Ooh, maybe there's some tactics on c6. Look at that. Interesting. Wales didn't play it. Did he have some move like takes here? Because if takes, and shake and bake, black takes on f3 at the end. I wonder if Wales and Giri missed that. It's an interesting little tactic there on c6. I'm not sure that it 100% worked, but either way, the current position has us here where Giri managed to win his piece and get out like a thief in the night. So Giri is going to take down Mr. Wales as he has just done, and okay, so Fabiano is still on a roll here. Let's go ahead and go back to the highest rated player in the United States, the world championship candidate himself. He seems to be on the grind. A nice position here for black. Queen a2 check. At some point, you're going to see this bishop pop into e4, I think. Okay, he's taking his time very smartly. White is constantly in danger of black infiltrating, and so Fabi can really just be patient here. Give check. I think now he'll put the queen on c3 or b3. Yeah, just kind of sit there. You're playing a little bit of tickle here, seeing if White can continue to play the most accurate moves despite being under time pressure. So, okay, the queen goes back. Finally, bishop e4 comes, the move I was calling for several moves ago. The reason why is because, or two reasons actually that can be kind of instructive. One is when your opponent has the bishop pair, if you trade off the bishop of the color that you have, now you have a knight versus bishop, which if you've done your due diligence to maybe create some outpost squares, create some color complex weaknesses, right? The knight can maneuver in and out of those holes, and without that bishop of that same color to protect it, the knight can actually be better than the bishop, right? The second thing is that in this case, this bishop is just a much worse piece than any of the other minors due to the fact that it's completely blockaded by pawns of its own color. So bishop e4 just makes sense that sometimes the way you highlight a bad piece is by trading off all the other pieces. And that piece feels even worse the more lonely it gets, right? So wow, this is nice. I love this approach with the king coming in, the knight dominating the life squares. Had a nightmare like this once. And weirdly, Thanos was in it, right? That's when, whoa, right? Jabuba. Some tea. Some nice iced tea on a hot summer day here in Arizona. It's actually hotter here in California than it is in Arizona. I don't want to hear it, Arizona people. Queen e4 check. Just do it. Do it. Do it. Queen e4 check, queen f3, go back to c2 check. Although the king hides there, or unless he has e2 here. Is he going to play e2? Oh, he plays e2. I saw it, but not until it was on the board, so I don't get full credit for that. Okay, now he trades, and he's just busted, because if you take, okay, that's two queens, and I don't know if you got them. Why didn't you get a second queen, dude? Two queens are better than one, Fabi. All right, well, we'll take it. With that game coming to an end, there are still a few games in process, but let's check on the standings and bring up a couple of those games, shall we? We've actually seen almost all these games come to an end. So here we've got this one here with the legendary Andrew Tang still engaged in his first round battle. Okay, so we'll keep that one open. And okay, but all right, well, we see the standings there with Andreassian right there at the top. Of course, all the big names, though, getting wins in their first round, so no real headway has been made. Fabiano Caruana, Anish Giri, Dmitry Andreikin, Oparian Grigori, all right there at the top. So let's keep an eye on this game here as Mr. Tang tries to do his dirty work, although it looks to me if anybody's doing work right now, it's actually black in this position because the knight is such a dominant piece, and there are threats of mating nets if white's not careful. I guess if black wants, he could probably just sit here forever. He's obviously going to try to play tickle enough to get Andrew to fall for something like rook c1. That would be a problem, but I don't think that Tang will fall for this idea. The most likely result, I'm guessing, is a draw, although that's before the mutual time scramble ensues. This is where it starts to get really dangerous when you're playing against Andrew. What did he just do? He just blundered the knight. Wait, what am I missing? How was rook takes e1 not the move here? What? Did they both just miss rook? Is the knight just hanging there? I have no idea. Do you see how my voice gets higher when I'm confused? Yeah, I mean, I have no idea what's going on. That was, yeah, I think as I can see in the chess chat, most people are genuinely confused about that. Okay. Well, what in the world? I'm not sure what's going on there, but somehow black went down in that game. Either needs to check his connection before he wrecks his complexion. Second awkward rhyme of the day. He needs to check his connection before he wrecks his chess-plexion. But Tang squeaks by with a win here in the first round. We'll check in on Andrew's progress. Obviously, like all the other big names in the event, here we see Fabiano Caruana starting his second game with a London system, taking on Ladies Get to Know Me. A lot of people already know of this username on Chess.com. So we'll keep an eye on this one. Who else is playing to start? We've got Anish Giri now playing the black pieces versus just Mig. So not like just Brian or just Mark. This guy's just Mig. So there you go. Grigori, again, the young, super talented Russian who plays in so many of these events. You have to keep an eye on if you're wondering who to follow. If you're logged onto Chess.com yourself, that's definitely somebody you should watch. And then, of course, as we've already said, the one, the only, the Andreikin, also with a London. So this should be a fun little contrast and compare, right? We could have both Fabiano Caruana's London and Dmitry Andreikin Londons going on at the same time. So Fabiano's London seems to have already broken open the center for the positional route. And this is, sometimes these types of structures feel like a failed London for white, from the perspective that, again, you didn't get some of those really sharp variations where you maintain the whole structure and you launch a kingside attack. But the transition of trading in the center and opening the d-file is deceptively very dangerous for black, because there's one weakness on the board right now that's much easier for white to target than it is for black to defend. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the d5 square, right? So white's plan with this move queen b3 is Fabiano is going to try to perform surgery here in the light squares. This bishop is either going to come to b5 or f3. I'm guessing b5. Often that's followed by either an advance of the c or the e pawn, so that this knight can complete a journey to one of these squares that ultimately lands itself on the d5 square. So the one risk for black here is, for white, is you don't want to play e4 too soon if black can play f5. Black is trying to prepare to fight dynamically for the center. But this is a structure where I'll bring it up over here on the analysis board just to show you guys. And here he goes with bishop e5. So again, this is a structure where you can really get in positional trouble if you're not careful. Let's back up and see how it happened. It happened here when white forced the hand with e5, which might have been a little premature. Again, because of this, after the captures in bishop h2, those London players out there who would see this and get depressed as white, you're going to learn a positional lesson that white has a new thing to play for because of this e-pawn advance combined with the early c-pawn advance, Fabiano takes a completely new approach, which, as I've said, is to start this stranglehold on the light squares. He begins with knight to c4, and there's an immediate threat of bishop takes d7 followed by knight takes b6. But even if that's guarded, look for this approach where white is slowly going to try to strangle the pressure on the d file here. Likely the d5 square is the biggest long-term weakness right now, but also the d6 square is under fire. All these things sort of put black in a little bit of a bad spot. So anyway, instructive positional chess here currently by the world champion candidate. The world championship candidate. What happened in the other London that we started with, Andreken's London? Andreken's London, a little more of the traditional kind. We see white attacking aggressively on the king's side, but without the light square bishop. Unless, I was just about to say, unless, this has happened twice now, where right as I about to think I know something about the position, somebody plays a move that I didn't see coming. Knight takes e6. I was about to say it. I was like, unless he's about to play knight takes e6, because obviously if we follow the analysis, black can't capture back. If we follow the analysis back to this position, black can't capture back because of queen takes g6 with check. I'm assuming everybody just falls, and that's probably good enough for white to feel good about the sacrifice. Maybe there's even some other idea like quickly flipping the script on the H-file. But either way, so Andreken is known for his Londons, and one of the few north of 27-20 GMs who plays it really regularly, even in over-the-board events, right? Not just a weapon of choice for him in the rapid and blitz format, but Andreken plays the London from time to time, right? And he managed, I guess, to just gobble that pawn. Black has got some play here, though, right? Don't count out the perspective that black lost that pawn, but he didn't do anything permanently weak to his situation here. So combine that with the light square bishop and the fact that white's light squares are weak. This isn't that clear yet, right? I think white's better. I'm just saying it's not totally clear yet. So, okay. Let's keep the main board on Andreken here. Let's switch the analysis board over to Fabiano. This is Fabiano's game. White, ladies get to know me is hanging in there. Let's switch both to this right now because something weird is happening here. Fabiano has two pieces hanging, and knight d6 is met by rook b6, is it not? I guess there's a couple ways out of that, though. Knight d6, rook b6, bishop c4 works, right? You can't take here without me getting here. You can't take here without my knight capturing. So we'll see if we get this line. He also has bishop takes e5, but I was worried that if rook b6, bishop takes e5. Oh, no, duh, that's not possible. Okay, so bishop f8, though. And Fabiano realizes he's actually blundered his way in this endgame. We could be about to see a huge upset. Fabiano streaming his games right now. Twitch.tv/GM Fabiano Caruana. If you're just joining us, how's he going to get his way out of this, though? Rook to a3, rook to a6. The bishop on b3 is not ideally placed right now, but a piece is a whole piece. It would take a misplayed approach from black for him not to win this endgame. Let's back up a few moves, because where exactly did it go wrong? How did Fabiano blunder the piece? It started back here where he was really on the grind, had actually won an extra pawn, and was doing exactly what we said would happen here from white's perspective. Domination of the d-file. We start with the positional highlighting of the d5 weakness, but also d6 was something we noted. He executes, wins the extra pawn, and seems to be on his way to victory, but suddenly after bishop d5, a discovery, a whole bunch of problems here for white. The fact that the queen trade happens, he has too many pieces on pre, namely the bishop and the knight together. Okay. So it seems like Fabiano just blundered after being much better. Just missed this move bishop d5, a shot in the dark. And he may indeed hold on and draw this game just because he's such a strong player. And right now I don't know that black has had the best technique, but But we'll see. Maybe ladies get to know me can figure it out. Time pressure is really going to be hard for Fabiano here, though. I mean, down a knight with no time on the clock and should be losing, right? I think f3 is what he should play, maybe f4. Okay, he chooses to punt on that issue for now, but at some point he's going to be overwhelmed with the idea that too many things are hanging. Maybe not. Okay, so he's found a sort of unique blockade, right? If black takes here, white takes here. If black goes back and defends here, then white goes back and defends here. So the sort of mini game of zugzwang continues here. The knight is stuck to guarding the e-pawn. Every time the rook comes down to threaten ganging up on the g-pawn, Fabiano prevents it, and as long as he has his eye here, he should be in good shape. And so what's the plan for black? Not to say that ladies get to know me's going to find it. What is the winning plan for black if we were playing it? I don't know. It's at some point I think he should be going for offering the rook trade and get the rook out of this really irritating spot. So the risk, of course, is you don't want to lose the pawns. But now he's maybe traded or waited too long. Very nice tactic right there. From ladies get to know me, everybody. If Fabiano had taken, knight takes g4 was winning on the spot. Now Caruana's in trouble for sure. Rook h4 is probably enough to win. Wins the g-pawn. He doesn't go for it, but that's because he's totally stuck anyway. No, he should be winning here. Black is still totally winning. Rook f8 was the move. Not what he did. But sadly, it's not going to matter for Mr. Caruana. Amazing stuff. I think there was a win earlier, too, from Black's. I think Black could have traded rooks on e8, and I don't think White was able to trade up all the pawns. That was the idea I was going to back up and kind of highlight for everybody. But at this point, we'll stay in the live position just to catch the moment. The moment where the World Championship candidate goes down, because it's moments away. Trades not able to trade rooks. That's it. Going to be a loss for Fabiano, which as we let this one play out, where does that put us in the overall standings? Let's take a look. Andreasyan won his game. Grigori won his game. Anish took care of business. We see Danya Naroditsky off to I dare say a rare strong start. Danya normally employs the Swiss Gambit with some blunders to start his title Tuesdays. Just kidding, Daniel. But right now, Fabiano is not going to be joining the leaderboard. He's going to be falling to 1 out of 1. His first loss ever while streaming is happening as we speak. And with that, okay, he falls. All right. So the standings, there's still a number of games going on. Big win there from Ladies Get to Know Me. He's a talented FM, and he got himself a Fabiano Caruana scalp, right? Too bad it wasn't post-November, because then maybe you could say like beat a world champion, depending on what happens, right? But there you go. Shout out to everybody in the Twitch chat as well as the Chess.com TV chat while we sit here and wait for the next round to begin. Chess Bay, Frank Rutten, Magnath Carlton. Love that guy. Love that guy, Magnath. Timothy Connolly, what's up? He said, hey, what's up, Leela03? Leela, are you in any way related to the Chess Engine Leela? Like, are you guys like cousins, or, did you guys got like, the same cousin, but through marriage, so you're not really family, and so then when you were kids, there was like those awkward moments of tension, like you liked each other, could you get married, but no. I don't know where I'm going with this. But Leela, are you related to the Engine Leela? In what way? What's up, Tyler? What's up, Unco7? Everybody who's with us, thanks for being here. The Title Tuesday coverage is only just beginning. As you can see, I just showed you the standings have a who's who list of a whole bunch of super strong chess players. Is that the best way to say it? Let's take a look at who's still playing. Oh, it's one game. Ooh, one of the top games, too. Let's get back there. Dmitry Andreikin trying to work it with no diggity here. Oops, wrong game. I didn't realize he was still playing. He's got the knight. So this is a good example of the higher-rated player stubbornly refusing to give the low-rated player a draw. It's a good example of, okay, these endgames are very, very easily drawn. They're the opposite of the rook and bishop versus the rook, as I've said so many times. Black has to blunder his way into losing this one like probably 3 times over, right? Not even one blunder is usually enough to cut it in this one. So this should be pretty good for FIDE Master Bruzella Ronald to hold the draw against Dmitry Andreikin. Thanks, Floater Game. Fabi was taken down by an FM. That's right. Pawn Cabbage. Liam She, again, everybody hanging out. It was an interesting one, though. He was also just completely winning. I mean, he was putting on a clinic, and I was promoting him for having done so in the positional versions of the London, where his opponent had made an egregious error on the light squares, and Fabiano was about to go to Grindtown there, but he just blundered a one-move blunder that lost him a piece. And after that, ladies get to know me, played well enough to convert on it. So. Not much going on here, so I'm going to continue to chat with the chat. Yeah, no Hikaru today. That's too bad. We always want Hikaru playing and streaming. So no Hikaru in today's Title Tuesday, but we do have Anish Giri playing, Fabiano Caruana playing, amongst 2 of the most recognizable Super Grandmaster names, including a massive list of 2,700 roughly Grandmasters playing as well. So, yep. Thanks for being here, all 4,000 of you. Sella Bethel. Deep Blue is your mother. That's you know what? I buy it, right? Deep Blue is your mother because Leela03 is somehow related through marriage, the awkward kind. The kind of marriage you weren't sure was going to make it in your family, right? Like 40 years go by and they're still together, right? That kind. At this point, Andreikin is he's just torturing all of us. Magnath Carlton, I'd love to see you spell Hu Yifan's name correctly. So you'd love to see her play. I'd love to see her name spelled correctly. So we each have our own thing, right? No, I'm kidding. There's nothing more irritating than someone who corrects your grammar when you're on Twitter or in Twitch chat, right? So I just had to be that guy. Fabiano Caruana is streaming on Twitch to roughly 700 viewers right now. The one, the only world championship candidate himself has jumped in with the rest of the chess party here on Twitch. So, all right, it's time, Andreikin. I'm surprised they haven't reached 50 moves yet. He is making some small amounts of progress here, in the sense that this king is getting closer and closer to the corner, but nothing really to it. And again, even when you get these positions, let me just give some educational advice here for how people might lose this one. Very good. Yeah, he plays the correct move. One of the only ways you can lose these endgames is by assuming that there's no way to lose at all and just sort of giving angry checks, as I call them, spite checks, right? Some players in this position might choose to play moves like rook d1 check and then just check again. And then they've actually improved the position of the king significantly and worked him closer to the potential mating net. So, again, black played the right move. Just put the rook on c1. Prevent progress rather than angrily facilitate progress. So we see he does it again on the 6th rank. And this constant behavior of keeping the king cut off either by file or rank forces this knight to serve a defensive purpose in terms of being an umbrella for the white king. Now black should just go back king a6 here, just run back. Okay, again, there's a million moves to draw. But the point is, normally if you just keep the king out of harm's way, nothing wrong with the check here. But again, he is. You just don't want to be in a position where, see, now the king goes here, and if you check, he can block with the knight. Okay, so it's still a draw. Even here, it's still a pretty easy draw, actually. But, Andreikin is creating some messiness. Unfortunately, that's how hard it is to win with the rook and knight. After all that hard work, his position is still like easily drawn. And there's no reason he can't just give a whole bunch of... Oh, he just blundered the rook! King B1, knight D2. Oh my god! Oh my god! Right as we called for it. Unbelievable! Unbelievable! Oh my gosh! You've got to be kidding me! Holy shenanigans! No way! Wow. Okay, well, Andrejkin just taught all of us a lesson of why in Blitz it's perfectly acceptable to play dead-drawn positions out forever, because you never know what your opponent may or may not do under time pressure. Okay, of course it was an easy draw. Rook b3 was a horrific move that blundered everything on the spot, but it is a good lesson. One of the only ways to lose those endgames is to get the king and rook close enough together that they can be forked by the knight. Okay, I'm surprised nobody went to fork emote town. Come on, people, give me some forks. Give me some forks, man. Yeah, I mean seriously. Yeah, you're darn right. I'm excited on that. I gotta, I'm really excited. Only some of me is showing you that excitement. No, it is a good lesson, because the one way you can lose those endgames is get the king and rook close enough where they can be forked by the knight. So this whole idea that Black played for with bringing the rook to b3, I don't even care if there wasn't this check and fork. It was against the proper roads to draw that endgame. Keep the rook and king far apart from each other. Avoid the opportunity to blunder, and you'll be better for it. So, okay, wow. Well, certainly in this next round, we have to keep our eyes close to watching what happens as Grandmaster Fabiano Caruana attempts to make his comeback. We'll see what happens here as he attempts to make his comeback after losing his first game on stream just last round. Of course, Dmitry Andrejkin, as we just said, he's now with the black pieces, just earned himself a classless victory. There's nothing sweeter than a classless victory where you just totally swindle somebody. Eddie, you don't have a fork emote on the Chess TV chat. We only have fork emotes on the Twitch chat, man. Okay, Andrejkin is going to crush this guy. Rook e8 check is coming. I see many things that I like about this position for black. Why not just rook e8 check, Dimitri? What you stalling about? You can't block on e2 because you'll take f3 with the bishop. Okay, finally, rook e8 check. I'm pretty sure king f2 is going to be forced. And then the move I was considering is how I could maybe take advantage of the d-pawn with check. One idea is that if king f2, queen here, I can even let you take here because I have queen takes d4 check, and you can't save the knight because I have double the fun poking at e3. So, okay, he plays knight f8, another slower approach for Andrejkin to come around and gang up on this weak d4 pawn. Again, I think queen f6 was an interesting way to be a little more aggressive with that. But knight f8's solid. Not only does it prepare knight e6, but actually, if they take, you just take with the queen, and you're coming right into a position. So somehow for National Master Temix Mozg, he's gotten himself into a world of hurt here against Dmitry Andrejkin. I don't think this one's going to go well. Okay, Anish Giri taking on Indian Lad. This is going to be a good matchup. A positional chess affair. Giri currently trying to work his own magic to come after the light squares. Not exactly the same structure as how and why black was so much worse last game against Fabiano, because if you notice the difference, right, black hasn't advanced the c-pawn yet. So when you look at pawn weaknesses and with them square weaknesses, you have to consider what how weak are they in the long term, and is there ever a way to defend them? So that's not officially an outpost square for black, which means black's position is still relatively okay here. Not really that weak. So Indian Lad holding on here against Anish Giri. Let's peek quickly back to Fabiano Caruana's game. He's playing quickly with a 40-second time advantage against Women's Grandmaster CUKUS. I'm not exactly sure who that young lady is, but I'll find out. Okay. We've so many other games to go to. This is a big one. Two big names. Grandmaster Jan Ludwig Hammer. Ludwig. Grandmaster Hammer is worse. Much worse, actually. And not just because he's down a pawn, but because he's sort of being frozen out of moves here. Andreassian is building up the tension. Now he's going to infiltrate into the e5 square. Here it comes. There's a threat of knight d7 check, so watch out. Okay, Hammer sees that. He moves the bishop back to c7. Okay, that's actually a nice move, and sort of inadvertently putting pressure on f4, pinning that knight down. Now, the knight's happy there, right? So the knight's like, all right, you pin me down. I'm cool here, man. It's like, grounding your kids to go in their room and play video games. It's like, what? Are you kidding me? I get to go watch people stream Fortnite for hours. You can send me to my room all night. So this knight is happy to be on e5, don't get me wrong, but it also is inadvertently pinned there. So we'll see how Andreassian wiggles his way out of that. He may be considering some idea like, okay, right as I say it, he plays it. Knight g5 is a way, now he can take with the f-pawn with check. And then, oh, he doesn't. I thought he might take with the f-pawn with check and then f4. Oh, no, but then king f5 would have been the problem. Because here, at least king f5, there's no pin on the knight. So Andreassian is still better, but Hammer gets credit for having defended this so far. So, wow. He's getting a lot of credit? I'm a little disappointed in the lack of Batman comments I've gotten. Just a few. Like, Danny, are you really Batman? Danny, you really Batman? Well, I don't know, something, but, expecting to be trolled on that one. Knight f7, giving up the f4 pawn with check. But the real problem is that the king can come to e6 afterwards, I think. He's debating right now whether he wants to take with the bishop or the rook. Because one thing about taking with the bishop is you keep everything at bay. This knight is sort of trapped because the bishop owns all the squares and the bishop comes here. But I think he's going to follow this. Oh, that if king e3, king e6 would have been played. King g2, he comes back. King f4, we're going to see a trade on e4. No, we're not. But that means that black is just taking the pawn. Unless he wants to play rook e7 first. Yeah, he does. Nice prophylaxis right now by Hammer. Guarding rook to d7, guarding the h7 pawn, and actually inadvertently almost trapping the knight. Knight g8, knight f6 was kind of the only idea there, because if king takes g5 had been played, the knight would run out of squares. Now the knight gets out, but Hammer has really put on a show here. Wow. Right? I mean, Hammer worked his way through that middle game where I was convinced at the start that white had to be better. Up a pawn and full of pressure. I think allowing this king f5 move was a big mistake by Andreassian. Jimmy Neutron in Batman pajamas. I'll take it. I like it. All right, rook e8. Andreassian now sort of trying to return the favor, defending actively. Let's keep an eye on this. The one game that's about to end. Right as I go there. I saw the time on the clock ticking away. There's another one without very much time here. Let's see. Andreikin already won in a super sexy fashion. Holy shenanigans. I left that game behind, and it was over before I could blink. Wow. Okay. So that sucked. If you're National Master Temik Zog. This has Anish Giri draw special written all over it right now. These guys are going to play Tickle till the morning light, if you know what I'm talking about. All right, so we're not going to worry too much about that, and we're going to pop right back to the game that we've been following, the one here between Andreassian and Hammer. B5, C5. Now there's weaknesses stuck to the light squares, but the bishop is still dominant over the knight. I love this maneuver. Nice tactic by Andreassian. He's threatening knight d5 check. The pawn was pinned. Brings the king around, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think that the black king and the bishop, now he can take. Shake and bake. c5 falls, and with it, Hammer's going to take this one. That is no easy task. Those who know Andreassian know that he is First of all, he was the hero for the Armenia Eagles in the Pro Chess League, right? He's a super strong Rapid and Blitz player, earning compliments of none other than Hikaru Nakamura for being a super strong Rapid and Blitz player. And so for Hammer to grind out this one, super impressive. And I'm pretty sure he's streaming at the same time. That's right. There's about 200 of you watching twitch.tv/GMJLH, just like his username you see there. For those of you who want to go over there and give him a follow, give him a sub. Obviously, we love Jan Ludwig Hammer, so support his channel, please. This is a nice game. Seriously, very nice. Here comes c4 check. Kick the king. If king to b4, then there would be this check, so c4 was perfect. I think b4 is good enough, indeed. Easy for me to predict moves when they're pretty obviously winning. Rook a1 checkmate is the next move, and so because of that, Andreassian resigns. So, all right, Giri, he broke through. So much for my prediction and making fun of the draw, right? Billy the Kid, Anish Giri the Kid strikes back. Okay, 96 check or knight takes c5 were also on the docket, but this is good enough. He's going to win the c4 pawn, and after that, too many pawns, not enough there for Indian Lad to justify playing on, and big win. That was a lot of fun, actually, to see Anish Giri come through in the clutch. All right, so we've got a few other games going. Not even sure where to start. I think that Dariusz Svirs is a good place to start. I like to call him Daro. You know, his friends call him Daro. Daro is full of sorrow right now. You know what I mean? He's going down. So that's going to be a big win there. Who else is still playing? Maciejek 92. Taking on Jospem. Okay, black is just completely winning here. He can take with the rook or the bishop. Takes with the rook. Should be good enough. There's not even an outside chance for white to get a knight and bishop mate. As if that was a real defensive try. But here black is going to win the pawn on g3 and then use this pawn the old-fashioned way. Block the check with the bishop, and here we go. Yep, so Maciejek, 92, wins by resignation. I say we bring up the standings of the event. Take a quick look at it as the next set of games just get underway. We are following here on the small board. We see Fabiano Caruana did strike back and win. So right here at the top of the standings, you still see, man, these days there's just so many strong title players playing. I don't know everybody's username. I wanted to be like, you still see big, and I'm like, I don't even recognize everybody. But anyway, you do still see some of the regular names we know. Obviously, Dmitry Vandrakin is listed at 13 right now. You've got Grandmaster Srinath. You've got Grandmaster Jan Ludwig Hammer after that big win versus Andreassian. So still plenty of places to go here in the Title Tuesday. So let's go ahead and head back and see what Fabiano Caruana is going to come up with in this round. Ooh, it's a Sicilian, one of my favorite kinds. So we'll actually pull up the analysis board early, anticipating that I'm gonna wanna dive into some educational comments on this one. They're like, yeah, Danny, don't hurt yourself, buddy. Speaking of which, I did hurt myself the other day. Not during CrossFit. All of you judgmental people, like I don't exercise, but I judge people who do CrossFit. I don't exercise, but I do judge people who do CrossFit. It wasn't doing CrossFit. I hurt myself in the yard. I was pushing a boulder, and it rolled back onto my leg. Man, it was crazy. It was like, I started screaming, and my wife was like, what's wrong? And I pushed the boulder, like my adrenaline took over, and I pulled an Iron Man, and I was like, right? Anyway, it was awesome. Oh, Chess time. Forget about the crazy stories. This is a Positia worthy of analysis. Okay, so one of the things about... Okay, Fabiano is he's a very well-prepared chess player. Is that a fair thing to say? A4 is not something that he's playing if he faces off against MBL in this Najdorf, all right? A4, I'm not saying it's a bad line in the for white. It's not the most aggressive, not some of the most dynamic ways to play the white side of the Najdorf these days. The English attack, you might see F3, you might even see the H3 lines. Those lines tend to be sharper. They lead to castles long versus castles short, and you have the all-out mating attack, right? So the plus of A4 is certainly it puts the clamps of the queenside expansion, but it's an extra move you're wasting that's not developing a piece. And so black tries to be aggressive to strike with D5 immediately, but the fact that G4 has already been played, this is the way that the cool kids are launching the English attack these days. In many cases, they even play G4 right away here. This is the Perenni attack, actually. So it's very similar to the English attack. You want to play F3 and have the big pawn chain and slowly build up the storm. But G4 is a move that says, why not accelerate the party, right? Well, let's get this party started right. Immediately threaten G5, which should, in theory, lessen black's chances to get the move D5 and get the pawn storm on the king side rolling quickly. The Bishop E7 is a really dangerous move to play early on in some of these lines because it seems like the easiest development move to make. How could it be wrong? But very often black needs to be aggressive with the queen side before the king side in some of these all-out attacking lines. So interesting to me that he was able to open the center so early, but something tells me this is going to be... Okay, well, a lot of moves have been played, and the end of it, actually, black seems to be doing okay. Okay, in the sense that he's not getting crushed. I do prefer white. I like the bishop pair. There's a very straightforward idea here for Caruana, which could be G5 and then the queen entering. And if she enters, there may be a rook to follow. So keep an eye on this attack. And one thing you can say about Caruana, despite the fact that this may not be some of the sharpest or maybe some of the spiciest home cooking he has in the kitchen, if he was preparing this for, say a world championship match, he is playing it very quickly anyway, right? So you look at the clock and you see a huge difference in terms of the understanding of this position in a 3-minute game, how quickly Caruana is playing things. Here he's probably considering whether he wants to come back to C2 and stop knight B3 or just go straight forward with the plan. We see what he chose. Here comes the rook to D1, and if I had to guess, the next move will be bishop to C1. Don't even allow black the opportunity to get the bishop pair, overprotect the B2 pawn from the knight, and then maybe prepare a rook lift. So I like bishop C1 here. He might be calculating something a little bit more concrete. Rook G4 is the... Ooh, he just takes B7. Wow. Yeah, duh. I was so focused on my attack. I actually liked Rook G4 as well because I thought that it would prevent knight takes C3 because of a move like bishop takes H7 check and immediately start to prepare things like... Well, not even Rook H4. You could threaten to take H7, check, and then here, and it would have been an awesome battery. So I think Rook G4 was another serious candidate move, but Fabiano decided it was time to just take material, and I guess he's going to be happy to just be up the exchange in an endgame. He's going to take A8, I'm guessing, trade on H4. Maybe trade on H4 first. Yeah, trade on H4 first, play King E2. There's not even a Rook B8, because when you take on C8, you can't take B2 check. The king will just hide, and you'll be down a piece. So he'll win the exchange back and go on to win this one the greedy way, right? The Yasser Seirawan way, allowing, thinking that time pressure, that material is enough. So, okay, Fabiano in decent shape here. How is our boy Andreykin? Sir swindles a lot, as I like to call Dmitry, winning endgames that he has no business winning, and earning more respect from me in the process. Don't get me any wrong. I don't say that as any kind of insult. Okay, knight C4, very nice. F5 is a target. He's going to bring the knight to E3. White's playing for 2 results here. Don't close your eyes. Don't close your... sorry, I won't go into song. Man, that was close. Almost started going into singing mode. Don't close your eyes. Let the H-file come after you, okay? Don't blink on the fact that Andreykin might launch a mating net here before you can say boo. I think he'll play knight e3 first. Oh, no. Oh, actually, he wants to keep the e5 square open. Yeah, so rook h1 first, and if the knight comes to f6, then there's potential on the e5 square for the pony, because currently black is overprotecting this square. So this is a really nice move, rook h1. I like it. Here comes rook h7. Now that he's backed up, look for infiltration into the e5 square. How? How do we do this? He's trying to think about it. He wants to also get ideas like knight b6, knight c8, knight d6. Rook h6 is another move that immediately pops into my head because it prevents b5 by putting pressure over here. Okay, he settles on this move. Now he has to play a4, but I thought, oh, b5 would have been met by bishop c3 and the rook was trapped. But I don't think Andreykin played that well at all. He walked himself into a much more unclear affair. Okay, he's going to get rook h7. He's going to take on b7 now. And he still is in, he's got to be in the driver's seat here. Rook c7 and rook b6 both make sense. Here comes knight to d5. Oh, no, just take f5. No. He trapped his own rook. He trapped his own rook. No, he should have played rook c7 as I first suggested, or knight d5. That's the 2700s curse. I keep giving him the benefit of the doubt that he must be playing the best approach, but I think he misplayed that. Starting with the whole idea of knight e3 and a4, I actually was more excited about keeping the pressure on the h-file, and now the position has become a wild one where he may actually still win this because it's going to be so crazy with the f-pawn. Believe it or not, bishops in these types of endgames are just nasty. Right? They hold and they defend on the diagonal, and they help you advance. He's going to play bishop d4 here. Yep, plays it before I can say it. Now what he wants to do is free up the knight. The bishop guarding f2 helps a lot if he can find some way for this knight to kind of get involved with helping this pawn advance. It's less than ideal, though, because now after check, here comes a5 by black. Watch. He's going to get a5, and now the bishop is no longer on the diagonal that it used to be, even though it's a beast if it can get there. But something tells me this is not just like going to be a quick win for the black player. Just time pressure combined with the fact that, as I called him already, Sir Swindles a lot, Dmitry Andreykin. Yeah. How's he going to do it, though? He's got to play g5 and then bring the bishop around. Now he's in trouble, potentially. He has to be very careful. If he could play bishop c5 here, it'd be winning because he'd be getting a queen. Sacrifices the f-pawn to relocate, but that can't be a good sign. Sir Swindles a lot may have run out of his last tricks. Yeah, Michael QD2 D5 needs to just forget about the e-pawn and launch it. This is the wrong approach. He needed to just calculate rushing with the a-pawn. At a certain point, it's not how many pawns you have, it's who gets a queen first. I think black's winning chances were definitely around just launching the a-pawn. It's going to be a draw now. Andreykin's going to win the a5 pawn, and okay, or on a4, doesn't matter. But I think he's going to get a draw. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. You know how I feel about being wrong. Right at home. Okay, g6 check followed by bishop d4. I still think it should be a draw, but both sides... Okay, don't blunder rook g1 check. I thought he almost blundered rook g1 check. You have to be super careful here. Knight e7 check followed by g7. And then he can take the queen. No, but black is still... Knight! He gets a knight! He's got auto promote on. He doesn't know. Okay, everybody who's watching this show, if you hold down Alt as you queen, the pieces will come up even if you have auto promote on. It's a Chess.com pro tip. Hold down Alt and then queen, and then it'll give you the... So you could, that way you can have your cake and eat it too. You can have auto queen on, which is most useful for those time scrambles, but if you get in one of these scenarios, you can actually get the under promotion that you need. Hold Alt. Okay, hold Alt. Hold Alt. That's kind of a strong name. My next boy. Hold Alt. Yeah? Wow. Alt pro tip. Dmitry Andreikin goes down. He really had to work hard, I think, to lose that game. Of course, I called several times that he would be doing just fine, but his opponent defended super well. Good for Michael QD2 D5. And what other games are still going? Most of the top player games seem to have finished. Let me bring up the old analysis board and see who else is going. Standings. The standings have a lot of people still sitting at 404, including Anish Giri and Grandmaster Jan Ludwig Hammer. Right behind them is still a massively strong list of top players with 3.5 out of 4. So there's still some games going here. Let's bring up the sniper from England, because that's a really boring game. Forget that. Let's bring up, the Dictator. I didn't realize that the Dictator Karilla currently getting grinded right now. Okay, he should be able to draw, but on the much worse end here potentially. So we see the standings here. We'll see if Karilla can take it home. But sorry, let me pull up that game. Okay, but this is a draw and an instructive one for those who don't know it. You always want to go to the opposite color corner of your bishop, because what you see is right there. Black is unable to put white in a zugzwang. Just go back to A8 now, or H1 if you're white. That's fine too, but again, probably the easiest thing to do, he should have just gone back with his king. Stay in the corner. Keep yourself right there, and as long as you have the king in the opposite color corner of your bishop, you're always in a position to create a stalemate. Black is unable to put you in zugzwang. So, now I've already called for a draw a few times here, and again, I'm not going to go back on that, but it is Blitz, so we could be about to see some sort of train wreck. You never know. But should be very difficult for Karilla to lose this one. I did miss Anish's game. You're right. I should look at the game that Anish won. Thanks for BJH13 as a moderator of our channel. Shout out to Chess Bay, BJH13, and all of our mods. I know that you don't get thanked enough, so I just always want to make sure you know how deeply you guys are appreciated, guys and gals. Yeah, this was an easy draw. It is over. If we check back in with the standings here, what do we have here? We check back in with the standings. Keaton Kira right there. Keaton 87 holding down the 7th spot there. So still a lot of international masters, not just the household grandmaster names, competing for the prizes here. Our last game remaining seems to be going down right here between Dr. Zeiss and Sniper England Coach. Usually the last game going, Frank Rutten as well, our moderator, appreciate it. Usually the last game going is a boring one. Sometimes we get lucky with fireworks all the way down to the last minute. But somebody just asked about the prizes. There are $1,500 in prizes every month. This is the biggest and most consistent prize money event for title players on the web every month. People want me to focus on Anish Giri's game. All right, that's what we'll do. We've got to do that. I hear you. Although, look at this. Huge game going down right now. Fabiano Caruana taking on Gawain Jones. So we got to keep our eye on this one. But Anish Giri taking on Michael QD2 D5, who just beat Dmitry Andreikin. So this should be a good one. We will keep our eye on it. Let's already anticipate some potentially instructive moments and bring up the analysis board. Don't mind if I do. And Giri in a simple kind of reverse Tarrasch structure here. Pretty straightforward stuff. Hanging pawns for white, but a small lead in development. Shout out to everybody who may or may not just be joining us. We have about 5,600 of you watching right now on Twitch TV/chess and Chess.com TV. Grandmaster Ben Feingold in the chat. We've got a whole lot of premium members hanging out on Chess TV. Danny is not Batman. Well, how do you know? Okay. You were born. I was born in it. Batman. That's Bane. That's Bane. It was weird. Anyway, shout out to everybody. The Title Tuesday is only halfway through, so don't go anywhere. Stick right here as we analyze all the top chess players playing on Chess.com for cash money. They're competing for cash money, homie. Okay, so Bishop F4 is it's a good move, all right? I had to check with my mental analysis there, make sure there was no bishop takes h7 check followed by queen e4, but hey, there's a bishop on that square, so no. But Bishop F4 is a good move positionally because whenever you're playing against weaknesses like hanging pawns, the simplification of the minors only makes them feel weaker. By definition, if they're hanging, that means unlike, the rest of the Peshki that are hanging out in a big group of pawns, the pawn island that can defend itself, these pawns are always potentially weak and maybe going to become the main focus of the game if white doesn't stop it, right? Whenever you have positional weaknesses like this, you're hoping for counterplay, you're hoping for piece activity to kind of compensate. Usually the best hanging pawns are pawns that are sitting like this together. 2 pawns here, controlling squares, well defended by a couple of rooks, right? And a whole lot of minor pieces to use the open squares and diagonals. So from Black's perspective, if he can start to simplify, trade down the minors, and slowly make them realize just how weak they truly are, Black should go on to win in a positional fair. This is the overall arching, summary of how we want to play hanging pawn position. So nice and patient there from Anish Giri, puts the knight on f6, defending h7, of course. Don't close your eyes. Coming back, love that song. Don't fall asleep on the idea that queen to c6 comes in with some sort of double attack, right? The battery there will be super dangerous. Knight f6 is a nice move anyway, because if the bishops get traded on d2 and h7 is no longer a target, look for this knight to do some damage in the center. So Michael qd2 d5, who already survived by the hair on his chinny chin against Dimitri Andreikin, may have met his match with the next super GM he's playing here from the Deutschland, from the Netherlands. I guess that's not the Deutschland, Netherlands, the Dutchman. Okay, he'll take on f4. Okay, but this is, I don't even know that Giri has to trade queens. He could, by the way. I think that there could be a whole lot of weaknesses there because I'm guessing after queen takes, white won't take with the rook. Yeah, so there's just a whole lot of pawn weaknesses. I think that Black immediately plays rook c8, as Giri does. Probably play rook c7 to prepare to double. No? Okay, bring the other rook in first. Also good. And actually kind of prepares this move e5, right? Taking advantage of the potential pin over here. So, yeah, right now just a positional clinic being put on by Anish Giri. Very straightforward. Up a couple of minutes on time to go with it. Okay, not right away because you're not threatening to take it, but look out for a move like bishop d3, pinning the pawn from behind, and ganging up against that potential weakness. h6 is again a very nice and patient move. Going to slowly prepare to bring the king out. At this point, white is all in on the draw approach, hoping to just get moves like c5 and simplify and trade. So not the most exciting game, but another one where Anish is totally in the driver's seat and playing for 2 results. So we'll keep the analysis board focusing on that game for a moment, but let's check back here. Yeah, we got to switch. This is where the action is, right here. Check it out. Fabiano Caruana just played g7, g5, right? We highlighted g2 on the other board, but looks like we have more of a g-spot issue happening over here. Caruana defending the black pieces, but trying to turn it into an attack. Wowzers. Did g5 just win a piece? The idea, everybody, was that Gawain could not back up because moves like bishop takes e4 and knight e2 check. So that was kind of the trick. But now, queen takes g5 allows knight f3, and Jones's queen is going to fall. There's still a lot of chess to be played here, and with Caruana's king being so weak and him only having 26 seconds, do not assume that this one is over, okay, by any means. Look for Jones to really try to mix it up here and make it tricky. Caruana looking to simplify as quickly as possible. What a strong move. Bishop takes and bishop takes f3. Now when he takes on d8, he's down the exchange, but he's got an attack against the king. I actually think that was his best chance. I think he was probably worse if he kept the queen on the board. The problem is with not so much time, even if unbiasedly Black should be doing just fine here despite being down the exchange, makes you worry about Black's position because this is going to be a really tough one to play with very little time on the clock. Okay, he relocates the bishop. He wants to win the d6 pawn. Not even so worried about the d5 pawn, but he does like the idea that it will help him transfer the rook over. So Jones stops that with bishop e4, bishop d7. Okay, here comes f5 and rook g6 at some point. Taking his time. I don't know that h4 really stops the idea, though. I think that f5 and rook g6 is going to come. I'm surprised that Caruana didn't play for it earlier, to be honest, before White could get the king out g2 to f3. But he doesn't have a lot of time. Okay, takes and takes. The bishop on e5, obviously very strong, guarding the a1 square, and after king f6, he wants to just focus over here. So, again, unbiasedly, Black has plenty of compensation for the exchange here. But in a game, in a blitz game with very little time on the clock, both sides could blunder here. Rook b3 check. King backs up, followed by a4. Okay, he gives check first, but look for a4 to come in. Also bishop b5. Oh, he blunders with bishop e3. Jones blunders away the rook. He's going to go on to lose now. I don't think the d6 pawn is enough to compensate. The a pawn is too strong on the outside. What a tough pairing. Even with only 3 out of 4, you would think that Caruana would get an easier pairing, but not every day you're 3 out of 4 chasing the leaders and you have to play Gawain Jones. So, all right, well, now he's got a few things to do. I thought maybe he could have just played, no, if a4, he would have played rook a7 and not taken f7. Okay, interesting. Working his way around for the a pawn. He can play rook a3, rook a1, and then enter with the king, but does he have enough time? Takes d5 first. Now he's going to play king d4. Keep waiting for the king to just rush in here. Now he goes for it. He's trying to calculate quickly about whether or not the h-pawn's a real problem, but good technique is often about being patient here, being disciplined. He's just focusing on weaknesses on both sides of the board. Not going to make it easy for Jones to create a mess of it or a race of it. If you think you're winning the race, you just want to kind of keep everything as is, right? Not let it get too crazy. All right, but at this point, I think Fabiano just has to be aggressive to convert on the a pawn. Finally, he does it. King comes into c3. I think Jones might have a way to get a draw. The worry is, if you're Fabiano, is you can't just plan to give up your bishop for this pawn, because then he can give up the rook for his pawn, and draw king b2. But he's going to sack. That's exactly what you had to be worried about. Amazing defensive technique there from Jones. Caruana's going to try to win, but this is the exact same endgame we just saw Carilla drawing, right? And the king's immediately in the right color corner, which is the opposite color corner of the bishop. And Fabiano's going to try to make things tricky here, give some sort of king move up. He'll try to give a check and then a tempo on the bishop and sort of chase the king out. But there's no real way to do that. You're supposed to give check here first. If Caruana's trying to make a mess of it, you want to give the check and force him on the same color square as the bishop. Now rook b1 check, king up to a2, and then go back and gain a tempo. There you go. So again, it should still be a draw, but this is the one way that you start to force the king out of the corner, because bishop b3 would have been mate, by the way. That would have been a big blunder. Okay, so you get the king out of the corner in this way, but by all means, I mean, now mate white, right? Now what? So this is the one way that you keep it going, is you force the bishop and king away from their little dynamic setup there. But okay, as we can see, Fabiano, he knows it's not enough, not thrilled about it, but takes the draw. Really, really strong defense there from Gawain Jones, honestly. Anish Giri was unable to get the win against Michael QD2D5. I'm shocked right now at how well this guy has played. Honestly, Giri was playing for 2 results with the black pieces in this rook ending, but not enough. Solid defensive technique from white, even under time pressure, manages to hold. So, okay. Where does that leave us in the standings? What's up, Chess Nerdbird? Shout out to everybody hanging out in the chat, hanging out on Chess.com and Twitch TV/chess. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us to watch the Title Tuesday. Let's go ahead and bring up the standings as they currently exist. We'll keep an eye on. Ooh, wait. We have one big game going we got to go to. Forget the standings. We've got this game right here. Got to make sure I'm following Hammer from here on out. Looks like he's not going to be able to hold, though. Grandmaster Veruzia 2003, about to go to 5 of 5, rocking it right now in the Title Tuesday. I don't think that this is going to be enough for Hammer, who trying to maybe trick his way into some sort of stalemate, but unable to do so. And okay, so where does that leave us now that that game's over? We said we would check on the standings, and we do so very quickly as the next round starts. We see we've got ENEASZ. Don't know what that stands for, but sounds good. Igor Kovalenko and Fiorja 2003, all with 5 of 5. Only 3 people remain undefeated. A very large group of people sitting at 4.5 out of 5. There you can see Anish Giri sitting at number 11, as well as Tigran Petrosian and Oparin Grigori. So some really strong Grandmaster household names right there, and then, of course, a very large group still at 4 to 5. So anybody's tournament. There are still 5 rounds left here in the Title Tuesday. We see Grigori's game against Kovalenko has already gotten started right above us. I think that. Well, let's see. There's a lot of different directions we can go here as far as who we should focus on. What do you want, chat? People want Giri's game? What do people want in the chat? A lot of different options, a lot of different places to go. Giri's game does seem to be one of the most obvious choices, a battle of 2 very well-known household names. Shout out to PS Shark, who just subscribed with Twitch Prime. We love it. We appreciate it. Thank you for all the support. Okay, this will be a fun one. So let's go right here, because I think that despite the fact that it's also pleasing to the casual fan to go over names and faces they're a little more familiar with. Anish Giri, obviously a chess superstar. But also, this is an exciting position. We have kings on opposite sides of the board, and we already have an attack being launched by white. E5 by black, okay. Yeah, the Pierce positions are so different than, it's like a combination of playing a Zamish against a King's Indian almost, and then you have a Yugoslav. These are weird positions where it's not the most straightforward structure where white is just rolling naturally because of the knight being in front of the f-pawn. It's a classical Pierce turn Yugoslav attack ambition. So despite the fact that white has already accomplished trading off that dark square bishop, white's attacking chances aren't necessarily the focal point of this game. Queen e3 is a nice move. It pokes at the dark squares, maybe kind of bluffs at the idea, not bluffs, but maybe prepares the idea that doubling rooks on the d file will be key. Shout out to Pawn Morphe, who also just subscribed via Twitch Prime. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for the love. Use those emotes wisely. Is that a thing? Do people ever like use those emotes wisely? Yeah. He chose poorly. He chose poorly. Yeah, I like Petrosian's position so far. Honestly, not super thrilled with Giri's play as white. Just me. Very good. Peaceman 2, first person to reference my Indiana Jones reference, you get a diamond membership. Send me your Chess.com username on Twitter, and I'll hook you up. That's Danny giving out diamond memberships for pop culture knowledge. Okay, so now White has sort of righted the ship, but Petrosian is not going to let him off the hook that easy. He's focused on this weak dark square. I like it. Okay, a few moves. C3 is a move. C4, undoubling Black's B pawns, but at the cost of getting a much more active bishop than he currently has. I'll take it. I still like Petrosian's position. He just goes straight in and ignores the threat of trading. It's a nice move. I think after takes, he's planning on eliminating the knight and just playing something like this. Just sitting on the dark squares. Yeah, here he goes. Plays the move C5. I like it. He's just going to clamp the dark squares, have a good knight versus a bad bishop type of game, and hope that that's enough for him to grind it out. Excuse me, up all night last night, you know, pulling 2 jobs these days. It's real tough. Yeah, so this is good technique right now. You could take with either the pawn or the knight and still be much better, I think. He wants to use the d4 square for the rook, I'm guessing. Yeah, and that's why he took with the knight. So, okay, now he's going to take with the c-pawn. Probably grab the c-file. Maybe he should have taken with the e-pawn on f4, huh? He's got a very, very nice knight on f4. The h-pawn is weak. But don't underestimate Giri's 2-on-1, really 3-on-1 pawn majority on the queen side. Rook a5, I think bishop c6 comes in, but if you played something like rook to c1 just to show you, and we're just taking, rook c8, just taking for granted the fact that that you should just be better because you have this dominant knight. There's even ideas like this where white trades and tries to, okay, maybe it's too slow here, but I was thinking about an idea where white would be the one who queens first. Have to be careful about the h-pawn. But Petrosian wasn't interested in that anyway. Tries to slow down things on the queen side. Here comes Giri. Yeah, but look out, right? I mean, the knight is a much better piece. This h-pawn is really crippling White's potential here because this rook is stuck. Yeah, I mean, that's not a move you're happy to play any day of the week, right? Tuesday or otherwise. So yeah, Giri is definitely in trouble here. He's just sitting tight, unable to get any sort of real counterplay. The biggest issue, I guess, for Petrosian is, okay, this looks really pretty, but where's the beef? Where's the breakthrough? Strong knight on f4, much better pawn structure, but it's going to take he's going to have to compromise in some way. Maybe he's going to compromise with the d-pawn. If he sacks the d-pawn to win the h-pawn, that's probably a good thing, right? King c5 now. Okay, rook a4 also good. He's going to slide the rook. But if my vision is that he gets king c5, gets the rook over. Eventually, he sacrifices the d-pawn for the h-pawn, and then this h-pawn runs. So I think this is maybe the winning plan for Black. We'll see what Petrosian comes up with. Giri plays bishop d5, trying to bait him into giving up his good knight. Not happening. Rook d4. Now he can also play king c5. Sorry, suddenly in need of some coffee. Serves me right for eating lunch and not just going on a caffeine overdose for this show here, right? PS Shark dropping the Giri draw jokes, right? Love it. Ba-dum-bum. Okay, so now he's really put Giri back on his heels, right? Giri understands he didn't want to trade the D pawn for the H pawn, so instead he's officially blockaded that pawn, but at the cost of being seriously passive. He'd like to play A4, but then he can never get B4 because the rook's on it. So if he wants to kind of play B4 check, sacrifice the B pawn, and then play A4 check and kick the king back. If I had to guess, that's what he's going to do. Yeah, here he goes. So I agree with Giri. This is definitely better than playing A4 and allowing another dark square to become dominated, but feels like we're getting closer and closer to a Petrosian victory. I think B5 is possible. Ooh, knight D3. He's giving up on the pressure of H3 to go after the B pawn. Mikey likes it. Okay. Interesting. Still really putting on the clamps here. Petrosian is showing why he's one of the better blitz and rapid players, not just on Chess.com, but in the world. For those of you who've followed Chess.com and our big events for the last few years, you know that Petrosian was actually the first ever wild card qualifier for our Speed Chess Championship. And the first ever event, he qualified to play Magnus Carlsen in the first round. He lost 21-4. It was a real close match against Magnus, right? But anyway, but Petrosian made it through a field of not so dissimilar to this field, right? A super, super strong field of grandmasters, and eventually emerged victorious to qualify for our first ever Speed Chess Championship. So he's good. This is not really a fluke, the fact that he's on his way to grinding out Giri with the black pieces. That was, I mean, honestly, that was a clinic. That might have been the best game of the tournament so far. Super strong technique there from Petrosian. And Giri, frankly, never really had a chance. Okay, so we go to Zavine Andreassian's game. Fabiano Caruana has already won, as has Dmitry Andreikin. No, we don't. I lied. We go to Hammer's game. Now this is a close one. Only a few seconds left. Shout out to Jabblestone, who just subscribed with Twitch Prime. We love it. We appreciate it. Thank you for your support. I'm trying to quickly gather stock here. He's got knight d4, but bishop f3 is lights out. Also, rook d8 checkmate is coming. Okay, hammer goes down. Not enough time for me to take stock, but it seems that in the time scramble, Daro proved, meaning Dariush Fierce, proved that the bishop is a better piece than the knight. Again, this really highlights the kind of games you want to avoid, bishop versus knight, right? The bishop is helping to defend while also restricting, protecting, and, most importantly, threatening to advance and bring a new lady home. So this is exactly how good endgames go wrong, X-rated edition. Good technique there from Schwierz. All right, most of the top players are done. Allow me to take a quick look and see who else is still playing. Okay, we're going to have to start following the Firozia 2003. I don't even know who he is. Firozia 2003 is 6 out of 6, not going anywhere in this Title Tuesday. So we'll keep our eye on that one, remaining the only undefeated player. But okay, we've got Michael, Queen D2, D5. Again, coming through with the big GM scalp against Alexander Bortnik. Michael QD2, D5 is on a roll. He is on a roll right now, playing some good chess. All right. Okay, so who else do we have here to take a look at? We got Nihal Sarin. That's a future household name from India, if you didn't know it. Unfortunately for the young man, though currently about to fall, right? 2 queens are better than 1. And Nihal Sarin, remember that name, everybody. You heard it here first. Young superstar from India, only getting better. Okay, so the commentator's curse continues. One other big name game still going here. Gawain Jones holding a very, very difficult draw. against Fabiano Caruana. Looks like he's in a tough spot. Not going to be able to do the same thing twice. This is an endgame that's lost for white, even if there's no extra g-pawn. But the pawn on g4 just makes it that much harder. Should be a pretty straightforward victory here for black. Play queen e3. That was less than ideal. Actually, I think rook f3 was also possible for Jones there. I think queen e3 was much better than g3. Okay, again, it shouldn't matter. There should be a fairly straightforward victory regardless. Notice how well the queen operates guarding. Now here, queen a2 check, and it's over. This is instructive, so I'm going to show it to you. The queen operating on this diagonal, okay? The queen operating on this diagonal is both assaulting and restricting and protecting the king. This is one of those tricks to remember for your own games. Okay, the extra g-pawn made that position very easily convertible for black, but even in the king and queen versus king and rook endgame straight up, one of the most instructive tips is that by centralizing a mistake is very often the mistake that the people make. They want the king and queen together, and it makes them feel all warm and cuddly inside as they advance the married couple up the board. But actually, the queen operates best from a distance of the king, protecting the potential of checks on the diagonal. And usually, if the queen is centralized or in a situation like you just saw her on the second rank, that's a really tough spot to put your opponent in, because computers play those positions well. Like, they never put the square, never put the rook on a landmine square where there's some sort of check like you just saw, queen b1, queen a2. But humans make those mistakes all the time. So keeping your queen on the diagonal, guarding the check there from your own king, an instructive technical win there against the English Grandmaster. Okay, so we have Grandmaster Fabiano Caruana taking on the international master that many know and love, Renato. So we'll keep our eye on this one. We've also got Grandmaster Jan Ludwig Hammer with the white pieces trying to bounce back. After a 4 out of 4 start, he's actually lost his next 2 games. Here we've got Elyanov and Naroditsky. This is a nice one. This will be an interesting one to keep our eye on. Not one of the top of the standings, but still. Yevgeny Sharapov taking on Anish Giri. This is going to be an interesting one. Trading into some sort of Berlin type of endgame. So we'll keep our eye on that. You got Grandmaster Conrad Holt taking on Zavin Andreassian. Here we've got Fandorine. I know that guy. Who is that? Laurent Fressinet? That's a French Grandmaster. No, Russian Grandmaster. I forget who. Taking on Dmitry Andreikin. So Russian on Russian action here. Like I said, I can't keep track of everyone's usernames these days. And here we've got the one we got to watch. We haven't watched the only player left. Feroza, 2003. Currently at 6 of 6. Playing Oparian Grigori. So right now, Grigori is the last Russian hope to slow down the only undefeated player left in the field. Okay, and black is playing very quickly here. A strong position here. Let's go ahead and open up the analysis board. To the Batcave, as they say. To the Batcave. Analysis time. Let's learn something. That's an interesting move. Knight f5. Gives up the d5 square. That's what I'd be worried about if I was white. Maybe he's going to play knight e4. That would be an interesting positional idea. Right? Not worried about losing the dark square bishop. Something like knight d5, knight e4. And if everybody's traded, well, here, that's a powerful knight versus a not-so-happy bishop on g7. So, interesting transition there, and he's got his opponent thinking. What was a big-time advantage for black is now much less. In fact, no time advantage at all. Holy analysis board, Batman. That's right. c4, that's a strong move. That's the move that that maybe changes the dynamics of the position, trying to take advantage of the fact that white hasn't gotten the king castled yet. Ooh! He's able to take d3, because if you take f4, you take with the e-pawn intermezzo. Okay, now white has to take back with the c-pawn, I think. Whoa! What in the world is going on here? This is a dynamic affair. Neither side wanting to relent on attacking the opponent rather than defending themselves. Okay, so why was he so worried about taking back? Oh, I guess the idea was rook d8, because you still can't take it. So actually c4 was a really strong move. And Grigori plays knight e4, almost out of force, right? He sort of has no other option. He is kind of threatening to take the knight now, right? Capturing on f4, for example, d takes c2. I think he could take here and move the bishop, and there's no way for black to win back the piece because the knight is protected. Okay, maybe not bishop d4, maybe bishop c5, but white has many choices there. So knight e4 was certainly a dynamic way to approach that position. And I think he might be all in on the piece sack now, meaning black. I don't see any reason why white can't trade here. Take on f4, takes back, move the bishop to safety, and try to get castled short. He plays bishop c5 with tempo first, but the same thing is coming. He's going to take f4. And black is going to be left trying to prove his piece sacrifice worthy. Shout out to Kappa the Guy, Danny Springer, Soppy Rum, Idiotic Quinn, a bunch of National Potzer, all the usernames from Twitch that I love. Dusky's right in the Chess TV chat. Yesterday on the Chess Couch, I did say that Batman was not my favorite superhero. So you got me on that one. Obviously, that would make sense, though, because everyone knows that my self-deprecating sense of humor would place me as the guy who hates himself. So I said I didn't like Batman. You get it. Anyway. All right. Queen e6. I think Oparian Grigori goes on to win this. Very nice, clean game. Kudos to the Fuchsia 2003, who really came after white, despite being 6 out of 6. He wasn't playing it safe. Wasn't trying to play for some sort of draw. Was all in on the attack. It didn't work, but kudos to him anyway, right? That's right. Feels Batman. Thanks, Braden. Queen takes e7. Probably just put the king on b1. Get the king out of harm's way and then do work on the d file. No, he wants to do work right away. He gives the check. Says he's not worried about it. I would have played the wimpier move. I am Batman. King b1. Now he can check on e6 and bring the queen back. Ah, or rook h2. This is nice. Full board awareness helps. Bringing the rook over, protecting the b2 pawn. This is a straightforward win for Grigori, which means with that, we are going to have a change atop the leaderboard because the only undefeated player is about to go down. So with Naroditsky, okay, he took down Elyanov. He's at 5.5, though, not 6.5 out of 7. So who has a chance, if we pop over to the standings, who has a chance to tie right now? If Grigori wins, wonder who has a chance to tie. Michael QD2D5. This guy is really working it. He's been surviving just by the hair on his chinny chin chin so many times. I'm not sure he can do it again, but he's on the road now. Okay, Andreassian, back to the main board. This is a crazy wild finish. Should be better for Conrad Holt, right? Should just be winning, actually. He's got way too many pawns and a mating net against the black king to go with it. So bishop g5, yeah. I mean, seems pretty straightforward now. b7 and a6 are both on the docket. Indeed, I think Andreassian resigns this game momentarily. And indeed he does. Okay, Anish Giri took down Yevgeny Sharapov. Giri, right? He's working it up to 5.5 points out of 7. Okay, who else is still playing? The commentator's curse. Hammer beats A. Kretchetov. Okay. Caruana. Now this is the one we care about. Whoa! What in the world happened here? Who's better and why? I don't have the time to think. It looks like Fabiano should be winning in the ending. He's able to give up the rook for the queen and get both of these pawns before white has a chance to get back. Caruana holds on just by the hair. I already said that. On his chinny chin chin. I'll come up with a new line. Barely. Okay, Caruana bounces back. All right. Okay, so one of the last remaining games of players amongst the leaders. Michael, QD2 D5 finally goes down. And all he had to do was pair him against a non-super GM, apparently. This guy here, Michael QD2 D5, has had a great event. We'll see if he can keep it up. After that loss, though, he will no longer have a chance to tie Grigori amongst the leaderboard, who did take care of business. But okay, the person playing against him is right there. So where are we at? Where are we at? Still a lot of games going. We can pick our flavor. I guess we'll check out Petrosian's game against Moskalenko. Two of the biggest names left. Also, a couple of guys with a chance to tie. Ooh, he's made it himself. Queen D7 check. Queen D7 check was over. He gets it again. Queen D7 is lights out, buddy. What are you doing? How did he not see Queen D7 check twice? Queen D7 check. Right as I came to it, I thought we were about to see a mate. Now, white is still 100% in the driver's seat. Petrosian, not only did he just beat Giri, but he's about to join the leaderboard with a win against Moskalenko, but he did not help himself with the last couple moves. There were a few other ways to make this win easier that he did not find. Okay, now I think Queen B6 has to be played. No, he goes back. Petrosian still on the grind. Queen C8. The king has to run. Queen check. There's no mate. King B4 would have allowed Bishop D2, everybody. Okay, but finally should be enough. Petrosian takes the easy way out. Goes into the winning king and pawn ending. But there was a win with Queen D7 check there for a couple games in a row. So, wow. Yeah, for those of you who have missed it as the games of round 7 kind of slowly dwindle to a close here, Grandmaster Fabiano Caruana is hosting his first ever stream to 900 viewers right now. And the Super Grandmaster World Championship candidate, World Championship contender, launching his own Twitch channel today. So, along with a lot of other players streaming their first-person account of the Title Tuesday, Fabiano Caruana is with them. So go ahead and check it out. Go over there, give him a follow, give him your support. We love when the top players join our chess community here on Twitch. I love when we see people bounce into the Twitch chat. They're like, what? Chess is on Twitch? Right? Love it. You're welcome, Anna. You're welcome. All right. So the tournament rages on. We take a quick moment to bring up the standings here. Big standings. 3 players tied atop the lead of the board, with 6.5 out of 7. Petrosian having the best event of the day so far for my money. Played the game of the tournament if you're just joining us, beating Anish Giri with the black pieces and a real grinded out Armenian special. Oparin Grigori is the strongest OTB player amongst those top 3, right? The young rising superstar from Russia. Let me remind myself who this person is, because I don't actually remember. Okay, Swayams Mishra. Cool. Okay. So, yeah. Swayams Mishra is this player here. So there we go. Keep an eye on him amongst the leaderboards, amongst the top 3 there. But Grigori just got here by taking down the former leader at 6 out of 6. This guy right here. Kovalenko, Konrad Holt, Dmitry Andreikin. Still a lot of players potentially going to be mixing it up there in the end, including Fabiano Caruana, sitting at 5.5 out of 7. So we have liftoff. The next round is underway. Anish Giri. The game that we have up first is Anish Giri here versus Igor Kovalenko. I think the one we have to focus on, though, as much as any others, Grigori's game with Swayams Mishra. Grigori and Mishra both with 6.5 out of 7. Petrosian gets fed to the Russian shark, and I mean that in the totally non-Russian mafia movie kind of way, right? I'm not talking about, that type of shark. I'm talking about Andreikin. Andreikin is not a fun pairing to get with black, right? So Petrosian amongst the leaders will have his work cut out for him with the black pieces. Andreikin looking to bounce right back. Grigori taking on Mishra, of course, is a battle of 2 of the leaders. Is there something going on here? Did Mishra just step away from the board? Am I the only one who sees that Mishra hasn't moved yet? Huh. Well, maybe he finished his game and stepped away and didn't realize that the next round started. We hope that he finds his way back very soon, because that would be a less than ideal way to lose your lead in the tournament. Then we've got Fabiano playing and streaming currently with the white pieces, another Chichilian. Who is play T3 again? Alan Pichot, that's right. I knew the username plate Y3 because he plays for the Buenos Aires Krakens in the Pro Chess League. Just didn't remember who. So Alan Pichot having a good tournament today, but now getting faced with the World Championship candidates. So, all right. Well, no idea what's going on with Swayams Mishra, but apparently he's trying to psych his opponent out. But I think it was as I suspected. I think he just went to the bathroom or something, because look, he just showed up. I've had that happen. One of the things about these online tournaments, this isn't an OTP tournament where, you got plenty of time, easier to predict when the next round will start. As soon as the last game is done, the next round begins automatically, right? As long as Chess.com servers don't fail, right? Knock on wood, story of my life. Then we're going to see the game start. So I think Mishra literally just went outside for a quick break and now is going to deeply regret it. Because spotting Grigori 2 minutes on the clock, I wouldn't have been my match strategy. I'll tell you that. Would not have been my approach. So this could be really, really wild. Is he going to play the knight e2 line? Or a3? This is a McCutcheon. Okay, he plays a3 line. This is a McCutcheon French, and this bishop e3, bishop c1 line is a gambit for white. It's actually a really dangerous one for black. Here comes bishop d3. And first of all, I love that Grigori's playing this because it's what I play as white, and I can't wait to see if I learn something. But, okay, h4 and bishop d3 are both possible. c5 is typically very risky, I think. Normally in this line, they actually just move the knight out and try to get developed quickly so as not to let their dark squares get exposed. Because the more black opens up this position, having already given up the dark square bishop, the more dangerous it becomes. So, for example, if he takes c3, white's just going to take c5 and just blow open the whole thing, and black has all kinds of dynamic problems. 99 of them on the dark squares. I'm pretty sure it's what Jay-Z said. Queen f4, yeah. Grigori is a man after my own heart today. I'm not going to lie. This is exactly how white plays this line. Queen a5, by the way, not a threat because of bishop d2. Here white can just play knight e2 or bishop d2 first. again, the issue for black is that maybe actually even queen b4 is an option here. The issue for black, and the lesson I will give those as Anna Rudolph cringes in the chat, right? She hates seeing her French get so destroyed. I love it when the French gets destroyed. So in this this line, if you're going to play the variations with the G pawn advancing, either G6 or G5, typically black needs to not go for the more traditional French approach of busting open the dark squares, because having already voluntarily weakened these squares and given up the dark square bishop so early, every open road leads to Rome for white, because the dark squares are going to be dominated by the first player, not by black. So king f8 is the variation that black normally goes for if they want to play the more traditional French approach on the queen side. Here, it's very common to mix up those lines, and that's what Mishra did. But I think that white is already really in control here. Okay, he's opening things up. The only reason you can't just play knight g5 and black resigns is because of e5. Bishop b2, hitting the knight. I think... Okay, interesting. So black is barely holding on for one more day, currently. Still 3,000 of you with us on Twitch and Chess.com TV. We appreciate it. Shout out to all of you, all of our subscribers, all of our premium members. Thanks for making these events possible. Okay, he goes for knight g5, and now Mishra goes back to e4. But even if white has to settle on winning everything on e4 and castling, the endgame is still really advantageous for white. And I don't think he has to settle. Bishop b5 check. By the way, there is no way to block on d7 because f7 falls. That means he's forcing the move king f8 here. And I'm assuming, I was going to say castles. White is doing just fine. So, good lesson for all those who maybe play the curmudgeon. It might as well be a curmudgeon. A spandoogle, right? Arugula, right? Anyway, anybody who plays the McCutcheon French should be aware of this type of line. And a good lesson that confusing your variations in a sharp opening is a lot more dangerous than confusing your variations in a closed position without this kind of potential. Okay, but Mishra's defending, to his credit. Here comes bishop a3, and after b6, white is still pushing. I think he's just going to take and play rook b1. Although, okay, so Mishra has gotten himself in the game. You know, if you consider where he started from, spotting Grigori 2 minutes on the clock and a really bad opening, to be frank, I don't know that Grigori got his best game from this one. Kudos to Mishra. I think white needs to play king e3 now if he's going to keep trying to win. Sacrifice g2 for h4. And I expect he will, actually. Wow. I feel like every time I talk bad about the French, it just comes back to bite me. French karma. I was probably Napoleon in my past life or something, right? Just kidding. That was just a random historical joke. The game was drawn by repetition. Wow. What a stud, Mishra. I mean, seriously, right? I mean, he just spotted Grigori. Like, that guy's really good. 2 minutes on the clock in a 3-minute chess game. And came all the way back, storming back to draw as black. Grigori really, really let this one go. I'm going to look at the analysis board while I still have you all giving a flying bleep about my opinion about this position. Maybe. How is it that this one is not converted on, right? The king has to go to f8. Black has 20 seconds. White has a full minute. He castles and trades. So where did it go wrong? Is he already missing something here? It's exactly the type of position that I would be highly in favor of if I was trying to get this line. I'm assuming that black is still in trouble here. I wonder if trading and no, probably not. Okay, so goes back, plays back again. Maybe bishop e2. Maybe not. Maybe. But Mishra just, he found a ton of good moves with very little time on the clock. Impressive chess, to be just totally honest. Perhaps here. He plays bishop there, and if maybe here, he has the best chance of going for this idea. While there's no super aggressive threats on the c-file. I'm still surprised, though, that he wasn't willing to give up the g-pawn for this. Keep the attack. All right. Well, there's still a lot of other games going. Shout out to Hamilcar1911. Thank you for the subscription. Ooh, we have a time scramble. Here we go. 2 queens. 2 queens. 2 queens. 2 queens. That's a lot of them. That's awesome. D8 queen equals check. Alan Pichot, known as Plat Y3, goes down to Fabiano Caruana, who continues to earn his way to one of his better title Tuesdays in a while, and he's streaming at the same time, so good for him. Some other games still wildly raging on. Anish Giri does manage to take down Igor Kovalenko, keeps himself amongst the leaderboard. Zavin Andreassian also wins by his resignation. Unfortunately, for the young man who started out on a tear, 6 out of 6, he's now lost 2 games in a row. Mr. Alireza Fiorza. Alireza Fiorza loses his 2nd game in a row to the American Grandmaster Conrad Holt. Okay. Of all the games that we've been following here, amongst the top, where do we want to take the train next? Tigran Petrosian managed to win against Dmitry Andreikin. Wow. The next round already beginning, so not even a lot of time for us to figure out how that happened, but if you want to take a peek at the standings before things get started, let's do that right now. We see that Zavin Andreassian is getting his next game started, but Tigran Petrosian right there at the top. Mishra, after just absolutely mind-melting, he blew my mind. Mind meld, somehow found a way to draw, spotting Grigori 2 minutes and a much worse position. And Conrad Holt working it with 7 out of 8. So 4 players really amongst the leaderboard, but Fabiano Caruana, Anish Giri, still creeping, right? Top 10 GMs be creeping. Right? Yo, Doug, top 10 GMs be creeping, and they're not out of the, it would be tough, right? But they're not outside of the realm of coming back to win this event. So we will see how that goes. Caruana now having to take on the Super GM Slayer today. Michael QD2D5 has really had himself quite the tournament. Something tells me that that won't matter against Caruana, but we'll see. Okay. Keeping our eye on the top of the leaderboard, the game that we have to really be focused on is the one between Petrosian and Grigori. The only one still unscathed, meaning Petrosian has not lost, only given up a single draw. So the only man still unscathed at 7.5 out of 8 takes on the strongest player, at least on paper, out of the grouping of 7 out of 8. So, whoa, knight takes d5. Yes, we're going to see fireworks. I think Grigori just blundered this. Petrosian, sometimes you need a little bit of luck. He seems to be the recipient of some of that today. I think opening this position just greatly favors white. d4, what a strong move. Positionally clamping down the d5 pawn. It's a target for white, and it's a nuisance for black. That's a very, very nice positional move there, d4. Take note, right? c3. He's going to work on building up the tension on the d-file, only liquidating it when he really believes the time is right. Okay, f6 is holding the e5 square because black wants to get this knight to a new home, but was worried about white popping the knight into e5. So f6 defends e5. The question for Petrosian is, do you want to play positional ideas like this? Or the other idea was to, look to really get jiggy with it on the queen side, something super frisky. Don't close your eyes. Don't turn your back on some idea for white to get aggressive over here. on the queen side. But I really do like h5, a nice positional move. g7 is nobody's friend. And the knight may also get involved over here very soon. Okay, so right now Petrosian, honestly, he looks primed to win this title Tuesday. The way he's been playing, and the fact that he's already beaten one of the highest rated players on paper, at least OTB chess, coming in Anish Giri, makes me think that he's going to be a hard man to stop with only a round and a half left to do it. That was an interesting transition there. He loses out on some of his chances to grind the king side with the knight off the board. But he remains just, much better playing for 2 results as long as, like we said, he has a target, black has a nuisance. Here, white can consider, I think, even just simplifying everything on the e-file and still be much better. Okay, or not. I think the reason why you don't want to do that is because if you take, eventually you bring black's bishop to e8 and hit h5, and you don't want to do that. So, so that's why he avoids that idea. Keeping pressure on the c-file. Is rook c8 met by bishop h3? Maybe, baby. But maybe this queen also finds g6. Okay. Yeah, he goes for queen g6. I think bishop h3 was met by bishop d7. So that's why he didn't do that. Queen g6 makes sense. Maybe now you can switch back to the e-file or now consider bishop h3. Both are options. Continues to stay on the grind. We'll come back to this one. Petrosian is probably going to be just sort of squeezing something similar to this for the next little bit. Wow. Caruana just absolutely demolishes our boy Michael, queen d2, d5. What happened in this game? What happened? I said I didn't think Fabiano would care about his previous results, but I didn't think it would be that bad. Okay, e5, rook d2, knight e7. Queen g5 hitting e2, and he just blundered bishop takes f3. Just straight up. Straight up. Okay, he was already worse, getting outplayed, but the only remaining move here was the move e4. A terrible move to have to play, right? Black is, Caruana's going to start bringing the knight right back, perform a little surgery over here on the G file. But okay. Just wins material the old-fashioned way. Eventually with d5, he had enough. So, okay. Caruana moving to 7.5 out of 9. He may not get another chance, though, to challenge the leader. 7.5 out of 9 may not be enough to get paired with Petrosian, assuming Petrosian wins this next round. Right now, it feels like Tigran is still really on the grind. Bishop h3 is a threat. Bishop h3 is a threat, and he missed it. Why was bishop h3 not a move? To the bat cave. To the bat cave. Why was this not a move? If you take and take here, there's no mate. Black's not mating white. Did he just miss bishop h3? I mean, Petrosian is still in the driver's seat, and I said that in another game where he was winning, but I think he just missed bishop h3. Okay, well, like we said, still playing for 2 results, but don't be surprised if Grigori's able to hold this. h5 is now looking more and more overextended, right? Black is threatening ideas like queen f5, where despite white's pressure on the king, despite this d-pawn being a problem, black is getting counterplay. So, not super impressed with Tigran's technique in this one. And if he gets a draw, that opens the door for some of these top GMs who've been sort of waiting and lurking, as I said, creeping. Speaking of some creepers, what's going on over here? Anish Giri really just putting the hurt up a piece and up a whole lot of time to go with it. Just absolutely putting the hurt on right now. Rook d7 check. and Giri wins. So, okay. I think with Giri and Caruana inching their way closer, we might see both of those guys have a chance to put their stamp on the final standings. So it could be an exciting last round. Don't go anywhere. Tell your friends we be rolling over here at Chess.com TV, Twitch TV/chess. Thanks to everybody who has tuned in to the show today. Queen d6, so Petrosian is still better. He actually traded the h-pawn for the a-pawn since we left it, meaning since we went and checked on Giri's win. g5. The problem for Petrosian is that he's kind of run up against, like, where's the rest of the counterplay coming? And black has f4, also possibly h5 and h4. So again, I mean, I think that Petrosian already missed a clear win in this game, and he has to sort of re-win it all over again. Still a position where he's playing for 2 results. Much harder to be black. Now you really have to be careful about a backdoor entry by the queen going to get the h-pawn. So watch out for that. Like, okay, here it comes. Queen f8's coming. I think this is the right idea. Swing the queen around. What's he doing? What's he waiting for? Maybe he doesn't want to risk the fact that... Okay, no, it was just a Soviet schoolboy maneuver. Rinse and repeat. Now it's 3 moves, though. Grigori can claim a draw. Yeah. That was a practical blunder. I mean, I got to be just totally honest and critical of my boy here. As much as Petrosian has played well all day, and as far as I'm concerned, he's already played the game of the tournament against Giri. But why wasn't queen f8 clearly the best way to keep improving the position? You hit this move, you hit the h6 pawn, put the queen in an awkward spot. She doesn't want to leave the 6th rank. You would happily sacrifice the a pawn for both of these pawns. And if the queen does leave the 6th rank this way, okay, you can even consider just continuing to sit, right? Guard d4, threaten queen b6, threaten h6. So not only was that clearly an opportunity for white, I wonder if Petrosian just blundered the repetition, but I have to go back one more time, because how in the world was bishop h3 not just winning on the spot for Petrosian? Completely winning. There's no queen sack here. So... All right, well, Petrosian may live to regret his inability to convert on this one versus Grigori, but either way, what we know is we are in for a super exciting finish. The standings are shaping out to be super close there at the top. One man at 8 out of 9. He should be at 8.5 out of 9. Petrosian may really regret his inability to win that last one. But then you've got a who's who list of super GMs that play Entitled Tuesdays. You got Fabiano Caruana, Anish Giri, Alexander Moskalenko, Aparin Grigori, who's already played Petrosian, but right there. So this is it's going to be a super fun, super close finish. I don't know how the pairings will work. It'll be interesting to see. We've got, okay, let's go back to one of the other potential leaders actually still playing. You've got, Mishra and Conrad Holt. Holt wins. He joins Petrosian at the top of the leaderboard. Okay, it's on. Look at that. Conrad Holt having his best title Tuesday since I can remember when. Hashtag inadvertent reference to a Jack Johnson song, taking me way back. All right, here we go. Last round, chewing on ice. Doesn't that mean I'm like frustrated with my relationship with my mother or something? If I chew on ice? What would Freud say? I forget. All right, we've got Caruana versus Giri. Caruana versus Grigori. Giri versus Moskalenko. We've got Petrosian versus Conrad Holt. If you're Petrosian, you're actually, I think, happy that Holt has had such a good tournament, even though you'd like to be the sole leader at 8 out of 9. I think he would rather play Conrad Holt than get himself a Fabiano Caruana or Anish Giri in the last round. If I'm just saying, right? The other option is that now that these two guys both have 8 out of 9, there's the option for them to draw I would never promote it. I'm just doing the chess math of how these guys think. If they draw, they basically guarantee themselves a tie for first, right? So let's hope that we don't see that. Let's hope what we see is fighting chess, the kind that would make Bobby Fischer proud. But we'll find out. So we've got the 8 out of 9 matchup right here. We've got Caruana and Grigori. Now this is some theoretical bleep, right? Y'all, now this is some theoretical bleep. You know what I'm saying, right? This is it. This is an English attack, castles on both sides, castles on opposite sides. This is what I live for right here. And Caruana knows it as well as anybody who's not the Frenchman with 3 names. If it's not MVL, I bet on Caruana. I probably still bet on Caruana against Maxime. I love you, Maxime. I'm sorry. I know, you're so mad at me now. How does it feel? I'm just saying, he's really good. You're really good, too. You're really good at the Najdorf. You really are. Here. Sit over here and just kind of think about it for a minute. Okay, we'll let the people know that you're here. There we go. I want you to know I love you. I love you. Okay, I appreciate your presence. All right, anyway. Okay, knight d5. This is a common idea for white. He wants to sink the knight into a5, which is why Grigori plays knight c4. A good lesson for everybody is that when this structure changes, c6 is the biggest weakness. So black has to do something very quickly to stop knight a5, knight c6. Okay? This is that's what's coming. So that's why black plays knight c4. We get a trade of the dark square bishops. White is still en route to... White wants to keep this thing positional and focused on the light squares. Bishop d3. He wants to play something with the battery and then try to pry open the h-file. Everybody's going to meet for a date with destiny over here on the king's side if Fabiano gets his way. So this is going to be an exciting one. Grigori's got his work cut out for him. We will stay tuned. Giri also... in an English attack, sort of, dragon, kind of, right? This one looks a little more straightforward. Ooh, maybe not. He's giving up. I thought maybe he would rush the H-pawn. But Harry is staying home for this one. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't know that this is as straightforward as I thought. I think Moskalenko actually has some real counterplay here, and you can already sense the turning of the tide with Anish abandoning the H-file, bringing the queen back. This is going to be an exciting... I don't know where to go here. We've got Caruana and Grigori. We've got Giri and Moskalenko, and none of those 4 players are even leading the event. We've got a battle to the end here with Petrosian and Conrad Holt. A draw would clinch them first as far as a tie goes, so we love the fact that they are not interested in taking a draw. Yeah, Tigran played the move knight a4 last move, trying to fork him on b6. Conrad Holt shakes his finger. Classic MVL. Hey, Maxime, how you doing, buddy? Yep, I'll get you a drink soon. We're almost done. Almost done. Hang in there. Whoa, g5. Plays g5. Holt wants the whole thing. Holt wants the whole thing. I love it. He might regret it, but I love it. Look at that. He wanted to bring the bishop into f3 and keep the attack going on the light squares. I don't know that queen f5 is the best way to stop it because Holt still has bishop e4 coming soon. Okay, he'll play h5 first, I think. Yeah, h5. Bishop. Okay, if queen h4, there's bishop e7. So if he comes back, here comes bishop e4. Okay, maybe not right away. h5 hangs, right? But Conrad is all in with the idea of winning this title Tuesday with 9 out of 10. Yeah. Bishop d6. This is super double-edged, right? I mean, this would be the way you would advise black not to play in a classical chess tournament. But Petrosian has just offered Holt a draw. Don't take it, Conrad. Don't take it. Yeah, no. Look at that, everybody. Conrad says, no soup for you. No draw. Look at that. The chat on Chess.com is going crazy. They're like Petrosian just got wrecked. Denied. All right. I'm sorry. At this point, we have to be rooting for the Holtster. Thunder Holt, as I call him. Thunder Holt is en route to either winning or losing his title Tuesday, right? Because he already could have taken a draw and tied, but that's not how Thunderholt operates. Conrad has never been one to play passive chess. It's funny because I think Petrosian offered a draw knowing that his young American opponent would have that sort of cowboy Yankee spirit, but also believing that he has a good position. I think Petrosian likes white in the sense that he doesn't really buy black's attack. I don't really buy black's attack. I think white can play bishop f3, knight f2, king g2, rook h1. I actually think that black is probably in trouble here because this attack is looking less and less like there's any real guts behind it. All right, king f2, a nice move. Same idea as I was saying. Bring the bishop to f3, bring the rook to h1. I think Holt is going to be regretting his decision not to take the draw, but also not regretting it, right? Because he did what the people wanted. All right, Fabiano and Grigori are still in a mix of a mess here, if that's a thing I'm allowed to say. And I think Grigori is going down. f4 points out the fact that there's a mate on g8, but if you don't take f4, you have to move the rook, which means that you may fall prey to this. So, okay, that's the whole rook. I think that that's a whole rook on e5 hanging. I'm not a mathematician, all right, but I do know one. And I'm pretty sure John Urschel would say that that was a whole rook hanging, and Caruana is about to get a pretty clear victory. He's up 5 points, right, for those who think of it in those terms. Going for the back rank mate, classic Grigori, but rook takes e5 is lights out. He was hoping for rook takes h6, queen f1. Instead, he's going to be resigning in just a few seconds. Rook takes h7, resigns. No, he doesn't want to resign. Grigori, look at this cat. Okay, there we go. Caruana completes an epic comeback after starting off on the wrong foot. He finishes the day on a tear, and at 8.5 out of 10 normally would be enough to win the event, but it's not going to be today. What's going on with Petrosian in the world today? Yeah, he's outplaying Conrad, and with time on the clock, no. I'm telling you guys, I know myself. I know my way around an old school Soviet chess trick, and that draw offer by Petrosian was perfectly timed. Just soon enough to psychologically kind of poke at his opponent who doesn't want to draw because he's got that young fighting spirit, but also enough that the moment the position starts turning for white, it feels even worse. I've had that happen to me. Like, they offer a draw when they know I'm not going to take it, but they've already correctly evaluated the transition of the position, and really I should be the one taking a draw, not them. And so what happens is, as the position gets worse, you feel even worse about your chances than you would have otherwise, because the whole time, watch this, after king f4, it's just over. The whole time, all you're thinking is, I should have taken the draw. I should have taken the draw. And now he's mated with rook h6. Sad, sad stuff. Petrosian is going to move to 9 out of 10 and clear first in today's Title Tuesday. So there's a number of ways you can do it. Rook h6, threatening f6. Rook to g6 is a threat. He plays rook g6. It's over. Conrad has lost. Knight e6 and rook takes, and it's over. Okay, well, let that be a lesson to you. The next time you get a draw against somebody and they're playing on your emotions, the fact that you want so badly to win, just make a mental note that if you make the decision to play for the win, you can't hold it against yourself, right? Because what happens is, right after that draw, Conrad just started playing worse right after the draw offer. I know you guys are like, Danny, whatever, conspiracy theories. Okay, guy wearing the Batman shirt. I'm telling you, that's what happened. Petrosian knew exactly what he was doing with that draw offer, and it was brilliant. It was an old dog teaching a young dog a trick as far as psychological chess goes. And Petrosian wins today's Title Tuesday with 9 out of 10. Unfortunately for both Caruana, who goes to 8.5, and Anish Giri, who also won, they were unable to catch the leader, and that gives us a final standings, as you can see here. Tigran Petrosian barely escapes the wrath of the two super GMs who dropped games early in the tournament. Amazing stuff, actually. That's going to be exactly what you see the standings, because even though there are still some games going, nobody else in action has a chance to get back there with. There may be a few people in action with a chance to get 8, though. So there's nobody left in action who has a chance to get 9 or 8.5 out of 10. So the top 3 is as you see it. Let me see if there's anybody left with a chance to get to move to 8 out of 10 and get a small piece of that prize action. Doesn't seem to be honest. This is one of the main ones still going here. Fast Chance, Grandmaster Sanyan Sagurov. Fast Chance has, well, let me tell you, he's got a fat chance of winning this one. Huh? Come on, last awkward joke of the day. I say make some, you say noise. Make some. Make some. I say make some, you say noise. Make some. Make some. I say make some, you say noise. Make some. Make some. I say MV, you say L. MV. MV. Right? Come on, we had a lot of fun today. I say MV, you say L. MV. All right. Congratulations to Fabiano Caruana. I hope he continues streaming. If he does, we're going to drop a massive host on his Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Right? If you know what I'm talking about. I love it. I love people going crazy. All right, this has been a lot of fun. It has been interesting to see the more and more top players getting involved streaming their games while they play. We love to see it. So thanks to Fabiano Caruana. We didn't get a chance to check in with the man Finzo905, also known to all of you as Team Scandy. Right? Hashtag Team Scandy. Bartholomew was playing. He's also streaming. Grandmaster Jan Ludwig Hammer started out with 4 out of 4, but didn't really finish near the top. Struggled down the stretch. Finally coming up at number 28. So the event is not quite over yet. As we take a look here, there is one game in process. Let's let it take us home, shall we? We shall. Oops, wrong one. I bring it up here. Sorry. Wrong board. Yeah. Here we go. We'll let this game take us home before we get to see that final notification that the event is over. Looks like J.S. Perez is going down here. White can play King A8, right? Black is holding, though. Not the easiest thing to unpin the B-pawn and avoid the checks. But without a lot of time on the clock, something tells me, okay, what White needs to do is creep the... he did it. Creep the queen to a trade. And right as I say it, he finishes the J-O-B. Look at that, going for an unnecessary stalemate. And the game is over with it. The tournament comes to a conclusion. And that's it. Top 3 players. Petrosian, that old sly dog, right? He took down Conrad Holt, who went into the final round with 8 out of 9. But sadly, sadly, if you're rooting for the young American, or successfully if you're rooting for Tigran, named after the late and great world champion, not the same man, unless time travel exists. I'm not close to the idea, but that's a different show. Anish Giri and Fabiano Caruana, 2 of the biggest household names in chess, both competed today. Neither was able to catch up with Petrosian at the end, and they finish sharing second and third place with 8.5 out of 10. So that's it for yours truly. Let me check in with my team before I sign off, while I have the attention of all 3,000 of you. Make sure there's nothing else awkward to say. Making sure things are good. Shout out to everybody who was with us here. We ended the day with more than 3,000 of you still tuning in here on Twitch TV/chess and Chess.com TV. We love you for it. Value Detector, did I get you your Diamond membership? I owe you that Diamond membership. Let me see if I got you that Diamond membership, Value Detector. Thanks for being here. Thanks to all of our subscribers, all of our supporters. Don't go anywhere. There's a lot of chess shows still going. For some reason, a lot of people just not fully appreciating the opportunity to just hang around. So I'm going to hang around with you. You guys want to see me play some chess? Frank Rudden, I appreciate all your help as a mod. Chess Bay, all the best. Yeah, Sheppy won 3. You make a great point, but again, it's easier said than done. You can't play chess scared, but psychologically, when all you're thinking about is I should have taken the draw, you're not focused on the present. You're not calculating in an unbiased fashion. It's something that happens to a lot of players. So Petrosian was worried about Conrad's attack, and he was feeling the heat, but he sensed the table turning, and he knew he could still take advantage of the young man's emotional desire for blood. And so he planted that psychological seed of doubt. Seen it so many times. But yeah, you guys want me to play some of the viewers that are sticking around? Sure, we'll play some subs. If you're a sub to the twitch.tv/chess channel, if you're a sub to our channel, or if you're a premium member, you get some games. I'm going to play and stick around for a little bit until we have another chess show to step in and keep the party going. You were value detector. You needed a prescription, right? More cowbell, all right? No, you needed a diamond membership. Let's see here. Let's go play. Go ahead, everybody. Send in the challenges. Here we go. We got Terminoil sending in the challenge. Let's do it. We're playing some games. Terminoil, long-time viewer. I think I've played him a few times. Platinum member. Maybe I'll play a Simul. Who else is challenging me? I don't think a lot of people are bringing in the heat just yet. Not a lot of people bringing in the heat, LOL. But if you're a sub, shout out your username to me in the Twitch chat. If you're a premium member, I'll do my best to look for you. We got our first premium member on the docket right here. This is like a reversed Old Indian. Superboy Hero just subscribed with Twitch Prime. I'm going to guess he did that for one reason only. Let me know your username, Superboy Hero. So this is kind of like a King's Indian, but kind of not. Black should probably still be looking. Sorry, White should still be looking to play E5, and then I'll play Knight back to E8, and. So White would like to play E5 and then D4, right? If you can make this pawn chain solid, then you can sort of relocate and reorganize your effort for something on the king side. But the issue is if E5, Knight E8, D4, I think I play Knight C7. I don't help him out. I try to instead bring more and more pressure over here to this D4 square and the D4 pawn. That's what I'm thinking anyway. That's what I'm thinking. Hey, Maxime, how you doing? Oh, you're mad that I kept streaming? Hey, buddy. I got something for you, though. I don't know. You want some tea? No, I'm all out. It's just lemon now. I play better with Maxime by myself. He's kind of like my guardian chess angel, Maxime. This rook or the other rook? I think the other rook, actually. There we go. Now they got the memo that Papa Bear's taking challenges. Now they got the memo. There's a lot of challenges coming in here. I'll read the usernames out loud so you know I see you. Keb2012, Smooth Fang, Brew, Wayne Zen, New York, Islamego, Checkmater, Proud, New York Knight 361, Twice 90, Drummero, Jiggle. I'm not going to say that. Nice name. A lot of names. Can't read them all. But, all right, Har84 just subscribed with a tier 1 sub. I think he's looking to get a game. Superboy Hero, you haven't told me your username, dude. What's your username if you want to play? I'm giving you an opportune. My Twitter is the same as every other name on the internet. Daniel Rensch. Real original cat. All right, Superboy Hero. There's a lot of people waiting to jump into that second game slot. So I can't wait for you. We'll take on our we'll take on our next diamond member. We have a lot of choices here. Trying to look for names I haven't played very often. Value detector. Back with the tier 1 sub. All right, we'll play Keb 2012. We'll go with the platinum action here for the first game. First set of games, all platinum, all fun. I think I got to go record a podcast after this, so. Thanks, keep moving, XX. Appreciate it. All right, so this is not great for Keb 2012. And that's even worse. Keb, what are you doing, homie? Oh, you've gone pre-move tilt. You never go pre-move tilt. I don't know what Keb just did. Keb, buddy. Okay, so first of all, you allowed e5, right? You're probably aware that that's less than ideal. You have to play h6 in this line and look to be a little more aggressive. Undermine my center before I learn how to use it, right? But after e5, you're in trouble, though not lost. If you, probably the best move is to not take on e5 first, bring the knight to e8. Maintain the tension, try to slowly get back to undermining the open dark squares. Even f6 is sometimes an idea. White's better here, don't get me wrong. But that would have been your best chance. So, unfortunately, was not in the cards this time around. Terminal is just sitting tight here, isn't he? He's just like he buckled up, real nice and tight. Real nice and tight. He's buckled up here. Real nice and tight, like. All right. Oh, wait, he made a move, but I didn't even see. Okay, wow. No, he took. I didn't even realize my time was ticking. I wasn't on the live position. All right, who else wants to play? We got a whole lot of others. Okay, but I've been looking for some usernames from the subscribers. Har84. Superboy Hero still hasn't given me his name. Value Detector. I know his name is Value Detector, so I'll look for him. All right, let me decline some of these challenges to see if there's some peeps waiting. I'm sorry, Keb. I can't give you another game right away. It's too soon. It's too soon. Too soon to talk about it. Too soon. New York Knight 631. I'm declining you because I don't want to play 5-5. You're a diamond member. I love you. Send me another challenge, but I don't want to play 5-5. It's too slow. All right. So now what? I don't know. We'll take here. What the heck? Yeah. We'll cement that pony in. Real nice. There you go. I got to honor my word to New York Knight. I told him I only declined because the time control was too long. Although maybe I shouldn't have accepted it right away, huh? Now I've got a game with a whole lot of time pressure. A whole lot of time pressure going on over here. Lucky for me, it should be pretty straightforward. Is it? Is it pretty straightforward? I don't even know if it's straightforward. I guess I'll go for this. But what's my next move? Where's my move? How do I win? Really frustrated about it. I'm just going to go around here. I don't even know if it's any good, but I don't have a lot of time. Now I've got a lot of pawns? Maybe? Almost. I've got an idea at least, which is more than I had before. An idea which is more than I had going for me before. Oh, I should have just traded queens. Oh, wow, I've really messed this one up. Really, really messed this one up. Turmoil. When simul's go wrong, that's what you guys are seeing right in front of your eyes. Oh, what am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing. Managed somehow to save that one, but it's not going to be enough to save the simul. Because in the process, I played like a real schmo in this one. Is a schmo a thing? I know a Joe schmo is a thing. Right? A real Joe schmo? I don't know. I don't even know anything anymore. Lost myself. Shout out to Juvalu76, who just subscribed with a sub. Thank you, Jackie the Swede. I should sleep more. Thanks for the comments on my complexion and the bags under my eyes. I know you're worried about my sleep. Like I said, telling a chess commentator they need more sleep is like telling your wife she looks tired. That never earns you good points. Okay? You look tired. Any Hooters. All right, I'm going to bring back the old comeback kid here, bub. All right, bub. I'm able to focus. Hoping that my focus here can get me a big win here, Carla. My wife, Carla. It's me, Bob. Me, Bob from South Dakota. Hi, folks. It's me, Bob. South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin. I told you, best thing about being Bob from South Dakota is I'm a Bears and Packers fan. And it's not sacrilegious because my wife Carla is from Chicago, but my cousin, also named Bob. He's from the Bay Area. The Bay Area. The Green Bay area. Okay, Bob. Bears, Packers. Bob from South Dakota. Hoping his wife Carla doesn't catch him playing chess when he's supposed to be working on the yard. Aha! Yes, very nice. It is your Uncle Sasha. I get your tricky poo. Okay, very nice. We have game now. Now we have game, and I'm very good for you. Okay, very nice. I have tricks, and I come back. Maybe I come back. Not really. I have bad simul here because I had focus on other game, and now my focus, it comes back into my idea hole where they play all of these ideas. They jump in the hole and they play together. All of my ideas. They hang out in my idea hole. Okay. I hold on for now. My idea hole is still very much active. Lots of things go in and out of my idea hole. Okay, very nice. He makes it very tricky for your old Uncle Sasha. How do I keep this one alive here? Okay, I make very, very tricky move here. This guy. Very, very tricky move from your old Uncle Sasha here. Okay, very nice. Okay, this gets
trickier by the second here. Duh, we expected this guy. Okay, very nice. We come here. Uh-oh, we have SpaghettiOs now. This is not good. No. Okay, I have a very nice idea here in my head. My idea hole. Niet. He finds my tricks. He not allow anything I like. He's a very nasty guy. Okay, we play for craziness. This is all we have left. All we have left is Brother Putin and our Chess.com comrades. Okay, crap. This is not good. He plays very well, this guy. He plays very well. He beat me. This is truth. This is truth. I have no soup for you. I have no hope. I am deader than Siberian tiger on KGB hunt. Okay. Very nice. We call it a day. I'm not happy. Okay. Last swindle. Maybe, baby. Maybe, baby. Not good. If only it wasn't for the increment. Could have tried to flag the old guy, right? That's why you never play increment when the game is on the line, kids. You never mess with a Sicilian with death on the line. Okay. Resign. New York Knights 631. You have beaten me. Your old Uncle Sasha. He resigns for you. Okay, very nice. All right. Where we at? I lost sight of the chat there. Sorry, blacked out for a little bit. You guys are funny. Juvalu76. Your New York Knights 631. That's funny. Well, there's a whole lot of you still hanging out. A whole lot of you still hanging out. I have such a hard time leaving you because I love you so much. We just have fun. You guys just want to hang out. I mean, what do you want to do? Thank you, Sorion. Danny, take a deep breath, relax. Too late, buddy. I already lost the game. That's advice that would have been more useful like 5 minutes before the simul started. Like advice like, hey, Danny, don't play that. Don't do that. We've been down here before. We've been down this road. Anyway. Oh, it's not you. So I don't know who the
You want to play God of War? We don't play other games besides chess at Twitch TV/chess. We have partners in the streamer program who play other games that aren't chess. With our efforts to try to grow chess on Twitch, but no, can't go play God of War or anything else. Boss 14, very offended by the Russian accent. Appreciate that. More Batman in the world. Yep, for sure. I should consider expanding my video game horizon. My kids play Fortnite and Rocket League and Call of Duty and Halo. They kind of play everything. It's really disturbing, actually. Yeah. Well, I've got another show coming up here pretty soon. Sorry, laughing about a text message. Fabi was streaming. Fabi was good streaming. That's great. That's great to know. UNC07. Shout out. Shout out, buddy. Value detector, is virtual reality chess the same as OTB? That's a good question. It depends on how people feel about virtual reality, right? Kitty Kitty Hiss Hiss. Hey there, haven't seen you. Glad you're here. Yeah, exactly. PSY man knows what I'm talking about. Fortnite just takes over everything. All right, well, there's still a lot of challenges sitting here in the queue from all of you. Like I said, there's Value Detector. Got to play that guy. Plus, you're not a Diamond member yet. I got to follow up with my team. I pinged them to give you the Diamond membership yesterday. I'm gonna throw down a 1-minute game here against the old school Value Detector. What exactly is Value Detector all about? Like, what's the origins of that username? Can you shed some light? Shed some light for all of us. I would shed light on my username, but you know. Yeah, right after this, I'm going to record weekly podcasts. Coffee House Blunders. It's a lot of fun. You guys can check it out. Blunders.fm. Me and my boy James. This is straightforward right now. Straightforward is what this is. Value Detector is clearly one of those players who's stronger than his rating, but is just obviously not the fastest, right? Not a great bullet player, but stronger than his rating. You can tell. I can tell by just like the way he approached the position and the quality of his moves. So Value Detector clearly stronger than his bullet rating. Thanks, Johnny Blunder. Glad you follow the podcast. Baby Boss, Petrosian won the title Tuesday. And Fabiano Caruana and Anish Giri were nipping at his heels down the stretch, but didn't have enough time. Fabi really seemed to have found his, right? He found his mojo. If he had gotten one more round, he would have been paired with Petrosian, and that would have been quite the sight. It was a good game. I don't mean that in a bad way, Value Detector. I guess the play was just straightforward in the sense that it, moves kind of played themselves as far as the simplicity of our position. A lot of you hanging out in the chat. Turmoil and Keb 2012 trying to get those rematches on. Terminoil, sorry. A lot of other usernames here. Do you have to take a test to be an IM? No. You have to play in tournaments, but that's funny. There should be a test at the end of it. Yeah, the following streams that the Moobot just shouted out there were the ones rolling today. That's a good question, Twice Nightly. I think Fabiano has a good chance in the match. I think honestly, the biggest favor that Sergei Karyakin ever did for Magnus Carlsen was putting a scare into him in the last match. I think the thing that Fabiano has against him is that Magnus almost lost his last match and really didn't employ a great match strategy. And I think he's going to learn. He learned a lot from that about like not taking an approach that's a bit out of his element. And I think that that motivation, that little bit of scare that Karyakin gave him, is really gonna put the fear into Magnus. And I think he's going to come well prepared and ready in a way that maybe he wouldn't have otherwise. Plus, from like an emotional perspective, Magnus has had the experience of being down in a match, so he won't be as rattled if it happens. All that said, I think pound for pound, if I had to say that anybody has a chance to beat Magnus Carlsen in a match, it's Fabiano. So I think Magnus is the clear favorite, and I think that the fact that the last match was close actually kind of helps Carlsen. You know, he learned some lessons, and I think he'll be better from that moving forward. So Karyakin didn't do all of his peers a favor with that, but you know, if Fabiano's playing well, I mean, I do think he legitimately has a great chance. See you, Chess Bay. All right, peeps. All right, I think I'm going to play a few more games, and I'm going to bounce. Maxime's getting hungry. I got to feed that kid like every half an hour. It's like there's like a hole in his leg, I swear. Maxime, I'm going to pull this car around. I am going to pull this car over. Okay, if you ask one more time, you know, I am going to pull this car around. Oops. Wow, this is an ugly game. This is an ugly game. That was quite the trick. Oops, blundered. that didn't go well. The truth is I'm tired. It's going to be hard to play right now. What's up, Floyd? Floyd Akash, the one and only. All right, team. I'm going to be out with my chi out, meaning my chi needs to be refueled. Okay? I'm going to be out with my chi out. Appreciate everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Title Tuesday, and we will see you later.